Well, we are in the winner bracket, everybody. Winner bracket semi-final. Nothing else to do going up against Team Marcel in the Skyline Cup. $4,000 are on the line here, and I know, a couple of people are immediately looking towards the two teams now like, wait a second. Khaldor. The red team is not called Team Marcel. They're called Don't Ban Malthael, and I'm fully aware of that. But that's a bit of a meme that we had the other day, because these are all Chinese, Taiwanese, or Korean teams, and there were apparently some problems with the translation of the team names, and some of that happened or ended up on Wikipedia, where people just tried to translate with Google Translate, and Google Translate somehow butchered the translation completely and said that they would be called, or that they are called, please don't go to Marcel or something. And I asked myself the entire time, who the fuck is this Marcel guy? And why does everybody want to go or not go to him? So they are actually called Don't Ban Malthael, but Marcel was kind of funny. So we stuck with Team Marcel for a while, and we're going to keep it for this series just as a bit of a meme. If they advance here or if they lose and play the no loser bracket, we're going to go for the real nickname, but it's just too damn good. Marcel, aka Malthael, and he has his own team right now. So yeah, either way, it's Infernal Shrines, and we have our first map. This is the best of 5 series. It is the winner bracket semi-final, and it should be an interesting one. Both teams have shown some very, very nice plays already. They obviously had a very good group stage 2. We saw them in the winner bracket round of 8. And yeah, I honestly don't really know who I would favor in the series right now. But we had some real spicy games in this tournament. The Skyline Cup so far has been spectacular, very entertaining. Even the games that were maybe a little bit on the lower end of the skill tree. Oh. Yeah, sorry. Something stuck in my throat there. Yeah, between the last series and this one, I was actually thinking that we had a bit of a break, and it was announced earlier that we have more matches today than initially anticipated, so I had to get myself some food. Trying to wolf that down between the series, so I at least have something to eat, because I was absolutely starving and could barely get half a sandwich through, but apparently part of that is still traveling downstairs. Vala is the first pick. Now that is already noteworthy, because in the previous games that we commentated, most of the teams banned Vala out right away and didn't even allow her to get into the game. So at least today, this is the first time that we're seeing her. We have still the ban pattern targeting, especially Leoric very heavily, who has a huge priority in these games on the Asian server, compared to what you see in Europe, in North America. Vice versa, Blaze is pretty much not played. Now, could be that we are seeing him this game, or in this match at least, but in the previous series, neither picked nor banned even once. Was pretty amazing. And there at least is the ban. Alright, I like it. So this is a little bit more on my alley right now when we're talking about Blaze and his priority. Leo is still prioritized higher, but that's fair enough. They seem to value him a lot. We have Rhaegar and Muradin taken for the blue team now. Marcel and his boys, what are they going to go for? The interesting thing is actually that even though they are technically called Don't Ban Malthael, the first 2 maps, I want to say, that we saw them play, they were the ones to ban Malthael. So, kind of crazy. Diablo gets eliminated instead. In Infernal Shrines, you have a lot of ping pong potential on each shrine. So he gets taken out. Talking about ping pong, Hogger obviously is going to pong around a lot once that the objective is up. I still want to see what frontliner they're going to go for now that both Jojo and Diablo have been banned out. Could go into a dive composition, of course, as well if they wanted to. We've seen this a few times now with these Inuburak picks trying to be aggressive. But, well, they are going for Brightwing and Inuburak. There it is. So, yeah, we're going to get the dive. Which immediately begs the question whether or not the last pick is going to be Genji. You oftentimes see that paired with this particular pattern. Could have also seen Anduin taken again, then Genji later, then going to Light Bomb engage with the Nubrak helping out. Interestingly enough, with Anduin we get a lot of bubble plays lately, not even a Light Bomb. Whether or not they're playing it with Genji, which is really interesting. But yeah, last 2 picks. We get Imperius and Hanzo. Imperius has played a big role in previous games. Big frontline, lots of stuns, gets the additional CC in, and then on top of that you have now Hanzo and Vala to both dish out the pain. So, yeah, looking pretty good for a first game draft. I mean, well balanced on both sides with a clear idea of what they're trying to do and how they want to win the game. And we'll see who is pulling ahead here. The previous match that we commentated was an absolute nail-biter. Oh, Zeratul here as the final pick. Okay, that came out of nowhere. Kind of like that. That adds even more aggression to it. Very curious to see if we're going to have a team fully jumping ahead here, or if it's going to be a totally balanced battle between the two. But yeah, game number 1, Infernal Shrines. Team Marcel against nothing else to do. Game number 1, let's go! We got Mirrodin and Imperius on the front line for nothing else to do. We got Hanzo and Vala for the damage. And Vala again with the Creed of the Hunter on level 1. I could have totally seen a multi-shot build there. Honestly, I would have probably preferred it, considering that they're not playing this with a double support or anybody else that can assist Vala and try and keep her alive. But they want the direct damage for the single targets here. That also helps them to put some pressure onto Zeratul, I guess, once he makes an approach. The red team with Zeratul, Hogga, and Nuburak. We got for the range damage Sylvanas in the mix and Brightwing for all the heals. With now the Greater Cleave coming in, so it could be, again, one of those Void Prison builds. Instead of the more single target damage focus builds that also rely on Might of the Nerazim on level 10. But look at that. So first of all, Zeratul is already slowing them down a little bit here. Oh, not only that, they're trying to go for Vala right away. And she's getting chunked down to 50%, but it's Hogga that becomes the target and dies. So the idea, of course, being to chunk down that tower with Nuburak and Sylvanas kind of worked. The problem is that they still lost a hero trying to pull it off. And that kind of negated all of the advantages that they had with that. So, off to a dicey start. Very aggressive start too. But we have a few stacks for Vala, even so she got chunked a little bit. And the red team is now falling into a normal lane pattern as they're attempting to push those out. Brightwing easily helping out at the top as Zeratul is in trouble against Imperius. Yeah, he's gonna have to get used to that. Zeratul alone is not gonna be able to take Imperius on at the top lane. That's just not gonna happen. Down here, Vala gets some easy stacks in. Nothing too fancy, but yeah, she at least gets a few. And they are trying to go for the camps, and they already locked one camp in and now working on the second. So yeah, time to shine and get some work done here. I mean, right now things are looking pretty good for them, to tell you the truth. 2 camps out of the 3, a little bit of a lead, first kill. And then the Stormbolt misses, just as they had another shot of maybe not taking the target down, but keeping them in their place. So, early skirmishes, nothing too insane. Blue team a little bit more aggressive in the way that they're rotating and looking for ganks on the lanes. Nothing really that just forces the issue too much yet. But we have now level 4 in. We get the Death Dealer for Vala, which obviously makes a whole lot of sense with the build. The Cleave continues for Zeratul. Bed of Barbs for Nuburak. No big surprises here with the talent picks. We've seen some crazy ones come out on level 10 for teams in this tournament. And yeah, just in general. Brightwing is just spinning around again. As always, disgusting. The Fruit Fly, disgusting as usual, but also disgusting damage against Sylvanas. They nearly get a kill here. Brightwing, in the final moment, turning it around and allowing Sylvanas to get some damage in herself. But she was in real trouble here. And Vala has gotten a few more stacks, but nothing crazy. I mean, she's sitting at 14, which isn't too shabby. The first shrine is now popping up, and technically she should be able to get the first quest reward up on that. But of course the priority should always be to avoid dying, since you want to rely on that attack speed from your Gambit talent on level 1. Camps taken for both teams. Kind of important here too. Need to make sure that you have that top lane control, and they are giving up the initial lead on... oh, that could be interesting, because now they're going for level 7 it seems, and they should be able to take also the Shaman down. So if they then go over towards the Shrine, they might just be able to get... oh, they're not even doing that, they're just burning through the wall. They're giving the first objective up as it seems and just try to get some damage in. And that is working very nicely right now. So yeah, the wall is gone. Even damage against the fort, and most of the heroes for the blue team are still trying to take the Punisher. Now, they're gonna get the Punisher, don't get me wrong, but they're losing way too much here. It's a little bit bananas, honestly, how much they're willing to give up here. Punisher is now taken. But as all of this plays out, it's now the end of Imperius at the bot lane, so they're taking him down too, meaning that the entire Punisher push is already shut down, at least partly. Bait over the wall, looking good. Top 4 has nearly been destroyed. This looks like a big win for Team Marcel, honestly. Don't Ban Malthael has now not only done enormous damage at the top lane fort, but they're also protecting their fort in the middle, and they've gotten an additional kill. It gets reflected right away in the experience advantage that we now have for them. Zeratul, on the other hand, yeah, he's able to dive out. Gets back out there again with a wormhole, but for just a moment this became a little bit tricky. So, good job by the red team. Very well done. And they might just be able to get even more here. Now, trying to take the camp out. But yeah, the lead experience in early level 10 would go a long way for them. So, Zeratul, he's still sticking to the top lane. Still trying to take the waves down as quickly as he can to give his team a bit more XP and help them to get to level 10 as fast as possible. But we are still looking at invasions from nothing else to do. And, well, there's a little bit... right now there's nothing else to do by getting the bottom camp and some experience. So they could go for the triple. They've already taken the 2 camps that march through the mid lane, as you can see here. Imperius still in a 1 versus 1 with Zeratul, but at the bottom of the map it's another one that gets taken. And it's actually surprising to me that the red team is just giving up all of them. It's a bit of extra XP that can be taken here. If they got the kill on Imperius, it might be a different thing, but they've given up a lot. But they're also the first ones to hit level 10, so at least that is a small advantage that they have. I like the damage from the blue team down here, but they now got to be real careful. And yeah, they're falling back, and they should. Because if they don't, then there is a good chance that a rotation with level 10 abilities is going to hit them from the mid lane. And that's not a fight you want to fight when you don't have heroic abilities. So Cocoon is in, the Horde are pulled, they're going to be aggressive with this. The big question is just simply what Zeratul is going to take, and as already expected at the beginning of the game, he's going straight into the Void Prison. Misses a Singularity Spike against Vala, so she's still fine, sitting her at 24 stacks. They want the fight, and they're going also for Brightwing with the Emerald Wind. That isolation has been happening multiple times now in this tournament. They just don't like their Blink heal, but they like kills, and they kill Muradin. The Dwarf is down, Budget Gimli has been eliminated. So, yeah, that's 2 kills to 1 now, as level 10 gets taken by nothing else to do. No surprises here. Arrow for Hanzo, Rain of Vengeance for Vala. And we have with Imperius now also the Angelic Armaments, as they're going for the top lane fort. And they should be able to get this one. Vala can make... Oh, nice arrow. That slows them down, and a great follow-up from Vala as well. So I think the fort is going to stand here a bit longer. That's kind of unfortunate for the red team, because their goal was to take that fountain out for the next objective. If they can poke this a bit more, that would be great. But yeah, would be interesting. No, they... Jesus. How can you defend it initially and then let it fall to the fucking minion wave? Why would you do that? Now the fountain's gone, and that's a problem. Or at least it would be if Team Marcel... If Don't Ban Malthael would make a move for it, but it seems that they're completely happy to again push the lanes out. Zeratul at the bottom of the map is not making any moves topside. And instead they're trying to go for Imperius again. Uses his ult, gets completely body blocked. That's a Warcraft 3 surround if I've ever seen one. So yeah, nowhere to go for him. And it's another fort that gets destroyed. Well, the red team is taking structures, the blue team is playing around with the objective, and they're going to lose big time. Not only are they going to lose the fort in the mid lane if they don't hurry, but they're also at the bottom of the map taking even more damage on this one. The wall has already been destroyed. So this is kind of nasty. I mean, they're just not giving a shit about the early objectives, which is not new. I mean, we've seen these plays in the past, but it seems that the blue team is struggling against this. They're like, alright, now we got the objective. And Team Marcel is looking at this and is saying like, well, congratulations. What are you going to do with that? Okay, that was amateur hour here. Yeah, Hogger should have taken the big way around to not proc the stun. He procced it. They're still going to defend this quite easily, but this should still not have happened. That would have been a much cleaner defense with him not making that mistake. Now they're losing the entire wall, but the blue team is just trailing. They're falling farther and farther behind simply because they're not reacting to the rotations around the objective. Now this is of course something that eventually the red team won't be able to pull off anymore. As the objective scales into the mid and late game, you have to react to these shrines, and I expect them with the next one to make a play for it. But this has multiple effects right now. Is he gonna get out? Yes. Nice move. So this has multiple effects. First of all, they took several structures down. So they were already outpacing them with Sylvanas and Anubarak pushing. But it also limits the amount of fights that Vala gets. And that's important because she's now still sitting at 36 stacks on level 1. They're obviously not going to get any kills against Vala either, but they're limiting her stack potential. And so there's a lot of advantages for them. Big dive again for Hanzo. He's dead immediately, so a beautifully coordinated attack. And Team Marcel is just doing a stellar job in this first game to control the flow of the game. We have them with 4 kills to 1 now. Making another quick play right here. Good stun also. The Wild Hunt might be in trouble, aka Muradin has to pop the Avatar. Even Ancestral getting used to save the day for him. But that is a lot of ults that they just sacrificed, and their bottom fort is still in trouble. So I would assume that this one is going to fall. They won't be able to hold on to it. Malthael is not in the game. But Hanzo is back to business. And we'll see what he can do with a well-placed arrow. The next objective is going to be fought for, but just look at the leading experience. I mean, we're nearly talking 3 levels here. So level 16 talents are going to be ready for them. Tempered by Discipline on level 13 now for Vala. So at least we have even talents. But look at the damage too. Vala has 20,000. Again, Imperius, he's getting isolated over and over again. I mean, time and time again, they're making the same play here. They're looking at Imperius, and they just don't like the fucker. I don't know what else to tell you, but every time he appears on the map, they're taking him down like a whack-a-mole. So they now make a move for Muradin 2. He doesn't have Avatar back yet. There's the VP, and boy, oh boy, they're going to get crushed here, aren't they? Down goes Vala, that's a Gambit stack gone. Goodbye, and that is a triple kill, that's a quad kill. It is a 5-man team wipe. Everybody down, bot lane wide open as they try to go for the keep. But yep, that VP was money. Absolute money. They get the VP out, they get the kills, they drop them all, and now they can open the wall down here at the bottom of the map without any fear of repercussions. We have 9 kills to 1. The objective is opening up. They're already moving back to the top side to pressure this one too. It's a 3-level advantage, and they're attempting to steal the camp away. And I don't think there's anybody that can stop them here. The wall has been opened. The objective is going to march to the bot lane. We could see a keep fall soon. Absolutely. So, very, very nice performance here in the first game by the red team. Now, obviously, this is a best of 5. You can always start the comeback a bit later, but there is no denying that nothing else to do is in real trouble here. They have to defend. They have to try and soak level 16, so it's at least available for the defense of the bottom keep. But yeah, good luck with that, because the red team is just speeding through this right now. They've melted away the forts. There's just no denying that they are in charge of the game right now, and that they make the big moves here. The only question that really remains is, can they take the keep down? And is there a way for nothing else to do to get to 16, get an even talent, and then just go for it? Look at this, full desperation. They're arrowing Anubarak just as he's diving in here to try and stun him out. Instead, the isolation of Muradin is happening, the stun. He goes for Avatar. They're popping all their ults, desperately trying to stay alive. The Ancestral comes in too late. That's a kill. They're going for Rega. He got wrecked as well. There's a Punisher. We might not even be talking keep here. This might be game. Anubarak is still alive. He dives in again just after we've seen the ult used by Imperius. He goes down, so does Vala. They're getting crushed here. Team Marcel is going through nothing else to do like hot butter through cheese as they are melting the blue team away. That's the keep gone. Only Hanzo is still alive here, and the core is wide open. This is all she wrote in game number 1 in this best of 5 series. A 4-level advantage, 12 kills ahead with 13 to 1. And we are going to head to game number 2 with the lead for Team Marcel. Team Maltha, please don't ban Malthael is taking the victory in Infernal Shrines. Nicely done, and obviously a well-deserved victory here on the first map.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2! We got Team Marcel against Nothing Else to Do. So, boys and girls, Dragonshire is our second map, and so far it was one-way Heroes of the Storm, as Team Marcel has been absolutely crushing it on the first map. So it was pretty impressive what they did there. Can they do it again though? Was that just simply a fluke on the first map because Nothing Else to Do just didn't get the momentum they were hoping for, didn't get the draft that they wanted? Or is this going to be an indicator of what's to come in this series? We'll figure it out now. We got Team Marcel coming in. Please ban Malthael with Vala banned, and we also... It's actually kind of interesting that they banned Vala. They didn't ban Vala on the last map, but over here where they maybe don't... I mean... They dealt with her on the last map. She didn't really have a big impact. Now they ban her here, so definitely a bit more of a map-specific ban. I think on the last map, as I said before, they really adapted well by using Nuburak and Sylvanas to try and out-push the opponent on a macro level whenever there was a shrine up, and that gave them a huge head start because the blue team struggled to react to it properly. You could really tell that they had their problems with it. And it also denied a lot of stacks to Vala. So on this map, that's not gonna be as easy. So here, they are getting rid of Vala, they're getting rid of the global. Very different way to head into the game here and check this one out. But, well, let's see how they are going to play this one out, because their Sylvanas is now also taken away. And, yeah, let's see. They definitely have to adapt this one. They go for Leoric. The priority of Leoric in this tournament is insane. It's so weird to me too, because like I like Leo and he is strong. I love seeing him. Good in tombs, good wave clear is amazing. But they prioritize him so heavily. It's nuts. It's honestly nuts. So, well, as it stands, we got now Hanzo in as well. Yeah, I'm waiting just for the tanks. Jojo is still up, Muradin is great on the map. Could go Diablo, Genji and Anduin. Now, when I see that, normally in a Western tournament, I would immediately say, okay, this is clearly Light Bomb Engage. And I would still assume that this is what they're trying to do here. But after I've now, in the previous series, watched Anduin go for the bubble at least 3 times, I am starting to question a little bit if they really value Light Bomb at all. I mean, normally if you see a Genji, you would say like, duh, obviously, what else are they going to do? But that's what I thought in the last match. That just didn't happen. So, yeah, there is definitely a couple of different... there are a couple of differences between the Western and the Eastern meta that have a huge impact. And that's not only true for priorities on heroes like Leoric or Blaze and others, but also for certain abilities and ults that are being used. I mean, you look at Vala, and we've seen her, for example, over and over with the Tempered by Discipline, which gets played in Europe, but not with such a insane focus as it is over here. And they're also playing a lot more of the auto attack style with Vala, even when they don't have a double support or anybody else to keep her safe. And on maps like Infernal Shrines, you would see most Western teams that go for Vala play with a multi-shot build, so that she can first of all get a lot of damage out, but also help on the shrine a lot more. Something that we've seen from Nick and from others, and they ended up with top damage in the game pretty easily. Diablo and Rhaegar, yeah, not shocking there either. So with Diablo and Leo, they have also, with the Entomb, Diablo has more walls available to himself that she could use too. So that's another one. And, well, with Rhaegar, we have a bit more wave clear on the mercenary camps, so speeds that up a bit, which plays obviously a role here too. But the final 2 picks, Johanna is in, and we get Urel. Look at that, the Space Goat is in their house. We get Urel, yeah, for the top lane. Awesome for the top lane, of course, but also very, very beefy. And in the team fights, she should be able to deal with Diablo a little bit and try and control his movements there too. The final pick, on the other hand, for Team Marcel, and it's Deathwing. We get Deathwing, baby. All right, Dragonshire, and they pick the dragon. Me likey. Game number 2. Let's go, everybody. Team Marcel going up against Nothing Else to Do in the winner bracket semi-final of the Skyline Cup. Game number 2 is on its way as we have the blue team rocking it at the front line with Johanna and Urel. We have Sylvanas and Genji for damage with Anduin trying to protect everybody here. Especially interested to see what the level 10 ability is going to be, given that they're playing with Genji. Is it going to be the light bomb, or are they going straight up for the bubble again, as we've seen in previous matches? On the right side of the map, it's Team Marcel, aka Don't Ban Malthael, with Deathwing and Diablo. They're going for the big Ds here. Leoric is playing the top lane, very likely. We got Rhaegar for their heals, and Hanzo gets played as well for the range damage. Molten Blood immediately in, and well, let's get this party going. We have on level 1 Austin's Renewal, and I'm kind of happy that we're getting Deathwing, honestly, and this is also a beautiful skin to take. I hate it when anybody plays Death. There was a time when Deathwing was meta, and they also played him non-stop with the turkey skin, the chicken skin. He looked like an oversized chicken. It's an absolutely disgusting skin that doesn't do him justice at all. This, on the other hand, that's a proper skin. You know, now we're talking. Not like this chicken wing bullshit that we're seeing from some players, especially in the European scene. I still believe that some of them are just taking it to tilt me a bit. Talking about tilting, Leo at the top escaping here. Bit of a tilter for the blue team that they didn't get the kill there. Even though this early in the game, it wouldn't really accumulate too much. Leo would respawn in very short order. But yeah, Deathwing in all his glory. Moving around here, that's a real dragon. Not that fake dragon bullshit that you're seeing from Chromie. No self-respect that dragon would ever take that form. Chromie, I don't know why we're entertaining her delusion. She's clearly not a dragon. For all her efforts and all that pretentious blah blah that we're hearing from them here. No dragon would ever take that form. That's a real dragon right there, you know? Oh, look at Alex Straza. That's a proper dragon. Chromie, yeah, not so much. Yeah! Shut up, you're not even in the game! Jesus! Unbelievable. Attention how much? Crazy. So, we got level 4 kicking in, and already some control from the red team. They're even threatening the Dragonite this early. I mean, they're not getting it. Urel has taken over at the top. But they are doing a good job just trying to pressure with the objective. But at the top side, they have now to react to Sylvanas. Deathwing coming in here now too. And yep, trying to get the stuns out, trying to connect a few of them. And with their own camp, they have a chance of actually pushing that wall down a little bit. They might even get a kill here. Sylvanas is barely getting out. That was a close one. That could have been a problem. And now, look at that. The blue team! The Winion with the interrupt. To be fair, Diablo took the top shrine anyways. So, yeah. But here in the top lane, we're seeing that heavy pressure that I talked about a second ago. They are going up against the Sylvanas, so that helps with the defense. But it's definitely not enough since nearly the entire team has now joined the fun here. The blue team rotates over to deal with it, but they're a bit late to the party, meaning they're losing both of the towers and they're also losing the wall. Question is, can they get a kill? And they're really working hard on this one, but they just can't make it work. So they've lost a lot here. Wall nearly down. So far we haven't seen an objective yet. Keep in mind that the blue team has fallen behind after the first map. So a victory here on map number 2 would go a long way to get them back on track. This is the winner bracket semi-final, meaning whoever loses is not out of the tournament yet and will just simply drop down into the losers bracket and has another shot to make it to the grand final. But we're now 3.5 minutes in and we haven't seen a kill yet. Just a bit of a ring around a rosy play when it comes to shrine control. Red team is still controlling the mid lane quite nicely, so that there's no Dragonite to be taken. But they have to apparently give up down here at the bottom of the map. It's a 4 versus 3, but that also means that Leoric goes towards the top side and simply take this one. Now Deathwing, of course, always has some interrupt potential here too. He can be very, very annoying on this map. Down to the bottom, still playing this out a bit more aggressively, and all of a sudden the pressure is on the blue team. Yeah. They're rotating now Jojo back in, and they're trying to make the play for Rhaegar, but he's able to get out of the way, and Urel takes the shrine back. Still not a single kill in the game, and nearly 5 minutes in, we haven't seen anybody fall yet. In the middle, Genji made it out. Experience still fairly similar, but when it comes to structural damage, Red Team has definitely pulled ahead a little bit. Nothing insane. Nothing really to write home about just yet, but they're getting there. Oh, and that could be a kill. Sylvanas gets out of harm's way in the nick of time, though. But that was a close call. That could have been first blood in game number 2. And it definitely forces the blue team back. So they're already retreating here. And with Leo trying to retake topside, it could have been a Dragonite. But thankfully for them, the mobility and Urel and Genji allowed them to get close enough just in time to deal with this. And dealing with it, Hanzo's currently dealing with the Siege Giants. Trying to take them first. And it's already added here. And up at the top, seems like Leo's finally gonna fall. No, Swift Strike doesn't have it. So yeah, can't use it here. To the bottom of the map though, they're stealing the camp. Yes, they take it. Siege Giants claimed. Sneaky move here by the team on the right side of the map. They're able to make the hit, and that is looking pretty awesome. So, nicely done. Yeah, let's see what else we're gonna get. We currently have Leoric moving through the top, trying to make his play here. Same time, as you can see down at the bottom of the map, Diablo is now finally done with his baseline and is doing his thing. So has the stacks here together with the Black Soul Stone. And what else are we gonna get? Especially now looking towards the top lane. There's more and more pressure on around the objective. But they're trying to eliminate it as best as they can. There's level 10 now. And with that, they all of a sudden have a chance to maybe use those heroic abilities to pull ahead a bit. It's still a 4 versus 2. So that's a little bit of a problem here. 4 versus 2, and it means that up at the top, we have a bit of an advantage, or we had one for the blue team, but they're really giving up a lot of infrastructure at the bot lane where another wall gets destroyed. So even though we haven't seen a kill yet, it's still the red team slowly but steadily pulling ahead time and time again by getting these small advantages around structures and then being able to make a play for one of the forts, one of the towers, one of the gates. It doesn't really make a big difference yet. But if that trend continues, it's going to be real problematic for nothing else to do as we are going through the game. So teams are now both making plays for bruiser camps. I like that the blue team has jumped onto the bot lane to take this one. Malthael is going to try and defend here. But Leo is all alone up at the top and is now able to push another minion wave in. Takes even the wall down to limit vision a bit. Urel is on her way to try and deal with it, but it still means that the fort is again losing some hit points. And this is exactly what I talked about earlier. It's these incremental advantages that the red team gets here that over the long haul is going to likely give them the edge over the opponent's team. So right now we already have another hit taken, and with the Entomb and the level 10 abilities, this could actually be the kill. The first one in the game. Seems like they're shifting targets towards Genji, and he's also low. Everybody's low here. They're barely running away from this one. A little bit more barbecue plays from Deathwing, but while all of this plays out, the top lane is pressured by a bruiser camp, so nothing else to do is really pinned down on the left side of the map. They're in real trouble. So this is a huge problem for them, because now the first Dragonite is about to be taken. Genji was trying to get the interrupt and just couldn't get the hit here. Nicely shielded by Diablo. So we are 8 minutes into the game. We haven't seen a kill yet, but most of the walls are now destroyed. All of the walls are destroyed on the blue team side. And the forts are starting to slowly take damage here. Team Marcel just a bit faster in the rotations, a bit better getting onto these lanes and doing structural damage. And now with the first objective, they're setting up a two-pronged attack at the bot and the mid lane as they are starting to make a move. Level 13 is available now on the side of Team Marcel, so they have a talent advantage too. Not for long, but this is just a perfect moment for them. Just as they're pushing for forts, they get a talent lead and they can try and pressure the opponent. Light Bomb is finally in, triple connect. Here's the play. Ancestral use. Rhaegar sacrificing himself to save Hanzo and is pulling it off. Still could try and turn it here. The barbecue play for Dibbles. He is alive and he's gonna make it. He's actually making it, is able to get out. The fort in the mid lane has been destroyed by the Dragonite, and he's marching towards the top now. So Leo is back getting the experience for the team and putting them even further ahead. First blood for the blue team, but that is all that they could accomplish here. They have first blood, but they lost more and more. The fort at the bottom of the map is not looking good, and the one in the mid lane has been destroyed. So Here we are. We got up at the top, a little play being done. And yep, what can they... Ooh, spray game on point. Yeah, a little bit of banter is never wrong. So, with that being said and done, we now have also another push set up at the bottom. Again, perfect example. They're just faster with the rotation. They arrive a little bit sooner. This time the blue team reacts more or less in time. But this is exactly the small margins I've been talking about. But of course, now that I mentioned it, it backfires. And they're losing 2. Okay, so 2 of them easily taken apart. And that's a double kill for the red team, which sets them ahead now in experience even. Maybe not. Close enough though. But yeah, so actually, different story. And let us take a look at the experience, actually. So, hero experience, a 3,000 point lead for the blue team. But it's pretty much negated from the minion experience and the passive experience gain that Team Marcel was able to set up. So, generally, they're looking good. But with the blue team now being more aggressive around these kills, they are trying to bring this back and using some momentum at the bottom of the map to finally also damage some of the red team structures. Now what I really like is that we finally have the light bomb engage with Genji. This is such a standard composition in the Western meta that it was really surprising to me to not see it play more often in the previous matches that we've seen, but at least here with nothing else to do using it, we see it in its own glory. Yeah, a little bit of a sad one over here. Not really great spray game. I mean, we're talking pleb spray here. I don't think that counts. You could have done better. You should have done better. I expected better from you. So, yeah. But we have the next objective up, so everybody is fighting for the shrines again. Pull-out game of Anduin is now also heavily increasing since he picked up the Glyph of Faith on level 16. It's going to be especially helpful against the Entomb. That arrow, on the other hand, I mean, yeah, that one is flying all the way over to NA. Narrowly missed its target. Genji, on the other hand, engaging into the backline again and trying for another stun with a light bomb. And Hanzo is out. Get punished for that shitty arrow. Deathwing is also dead. And guys, that's 5 kills to 0. Nothing else to do is starting to crush it. Absolutely crush it here. The Entomb blocking them off a bit as they're trying to chase them down even further. Ooh, Sylvanas! She makes it. What? Sylvanas made it out of the fight without dying. That's insane. Yeah, but she got out. And, well, I gotta admit that this is starting to become a weird game. The rotations are clearly better from Team Marcel. Definitely. But that doesn't mean anything anymore in the mid and late game if you are not taking any kills in those team fights. And they haven't gotten a single kill yet. So good rotations are a nice thing to have. But if that's all that you got, then it's just not going to be enough. Another interrupt is happening. Fort at the bottom of the map is now about to be taken. So the momentum is starting to swing. 1-4 down, and all of the advantages that we talked about earlier for Team Marcel are gone. So that's that. But, well, with this, we have now 5 kills to 0 and a level lead. We're seeing them rotate around again. And here comes the hit from Genji. As the Entomb. Nice. Ult is out. And that's a kill. Urel is dead. Urel is down, and with that we have the first kill, first blood for the red team. So maybe the time to bring it back here slowly. And as they are aiming for the top lane, they're hoping of course to also take down a fort, but I don't think they can pull that one off. But they could maybe go for another objective here, if they maintain control of the top shrine and take the middle. But Jojo is already on her way to deal with it, so yeah, she's moving in for this one, trying to take it. We have the push through the middle, and here we are. No Dragonite for either team yet, but at least we're dead even in experience. Damage output in the game, 35,000 for Deathwing, 33,000 for Hanzo. We have 54,000 for Genji on the other hand. I mean, he's clearly top damage in the game. Second highest is Sylvanas with a 39k she brings to the table. And only Urella's fallen so far on their side. A little bit more barbecue to try and take that... Are you fucking with me? Alright, I mean that just happened. Yeah, they didn't take the fort down. I suppose the Deathwing is eventually going to take care of it. But that is a meme and a half, to be honest. He thought he had it, but he cancelled the Molten Flame, and as it turns out, there were still a few hit points left for the fort. Yeah, but you want that catapult pressure. You want to get that quickly. So, they are still moving in the middle. Trying to take down not only the catapults, but also the next wave to get a bit more experience for level 20. And I absolutely love how both of the teams are just so scared of losing a hero right now. Everybody is playing this as safe as possible. We've seen skirmishes that just lasted for minutes in previous matches and games. But right now, everybody is super careful with this one. They know that there's a Dragonite on the line. And yep, also a potential kill, because now that's a problem. But Urel still gets out. Or does she? Has to use the ult. Sylvanas is also low. The arrow of Hanzo was used to lock them down even further. Another hit! The self-ancestral for Rhaegar keeps him alive. Super close call, but they're pulling it off. And once again, they're starting to chase, but Anduin is pulling everybody out. Level 20 is nearly there. But holy hell, that was such a clutch call. Both teams nearly losing heroes here. And this game is on razor's edge. Again, top side, nothing else to do, keeping control. And the red team now about to lock in their level 20. Same is of course also true for the team on the left side of the map. We get the buried alive, which is going to be huge. We have the stun with the bullseye, the living weapon for Genji. Seraphim is in. And yeah, boy oh boy, this could get really dicey now in those fights, especially given what Leo can pull off. It all depends on Anduin's positioning, if he can pull people out of the buried alive. Anduin with the Varian's legacy here. But yeah, there's the play, there's the ult, and immediately the reaction from Anduin. It was desperately needed here. They're trying to play around Leoric's cooldown as best as they can. Nice stun again, and they're burning them down even further. But again, Genji trying to jump in again, using his ult, trying to get the cooldown reduction here too. Sylvanas is going to have an ult up in another 3 seconds and could utilize it here to get a big hit off, but the stun on Urel! And she gets saved. Urel saved, they're jumping back out again, but boy, honestly it feels like one kill could end the game. Especially at the bottom of the map, both of the teams have lost control over their fort, so it's only the keep standing. And with the late game Dragonite, if you get a few kills with it too, then you can of course move through that lane quickly. It's also kind of wild to think about the fact that we had, after 17 minutes, only a single Dragonite. One objective is all that we got so far. Nothing else. So right now, everybody is just trying to cover the basics. 56,000 damage for Deathwing. Shrine reclaimed down at the bottom of the map. Genji was protecting the middle just in case. But down here, they're now trying to make another move. And Leo isn't here. Leo is still attempting to push the top lane out a bit and threatening the top fort, which is going to be nice for them as long as they're not being baited into a fight down at the bottom of the map, which they would surely lose. So they got to be very careful. There's the light bomb, as expected. Has to go for the self-ancestral if he wants to stay alive. It is too late already. Deathwing is here, but can they get the counter kill? No, they cannot. Genji was protected. Now Diablo is in trouble, but he gets out. Diablo is out. Leo has taken the top fort, and that might have been worth it. I'm stressing might because the bottom keep is now getting attacked, and it all depends on whether or not they can protect this. Hanzo jumps out. Genji needs to retreat, but the keep is about to fall. So yeah, at the end of the day, it wasn't worth it for the blue team. The keep falls. Sorry, for the red team. The keep falls. Genji dies too. That could now turn things a little bit. That's another 60 seconds that they're without him. And if Leo can slow them down a bit further, there might just be a chance to pick up a second kill, and that could change everything here. Rhaegar isn't there, but look at how deep Diablo dives on this one. Yeah, but Diablo's now also in trouble. There's the barbecue again, and down goes Hanzo. They went too deep. They lose Diablo as well. That's 2 heroes eliminated, and that just might be the opportunity that nothing else to do needed. But with another swing for the fences, we have Leoric hitting it out of the park, drops Sylvanas, and now the only survivors are Diablo, Rhaegar, and Deathwing. Diablo, of course, coming back to life here. 9 kills to 3, but it is a wild game. Game number 2, completely different from what we've seen on the first map. First map, it was full-on control from start to finish from team Don't Ban Malthael. They were just too good. They were doing a fantastic job controlling the flow of the game. Right now, it is a very different story here. way more aggressive from the blue team in particular, as they are starting to get not only the kills but also the control of this one. But of course, Team Marcel is fighting back as best they can. They're looking again towards the top lane. Leo's going to be back in a couple of seconds. Sylvana's missing for another 15. So they should have an upper hand here, but they might just be able to sneak this one in. If they go for it right away, they can. Ah, they can't, sorry. Genji was a little bit faster than I expected him to be. But yes, Diab. Oh, nice! The wall stun! Trying to stop him a bit further, but he's still zipping out. But I like the pressure. I really like the pressure from Diablo that he's now showing consistently. Now, keep in mind, he is not fully stacked with his souls yet. He's at 44. And, well, they are trying to come in for another hit. Catapults go down too. More catapult pressure, obviously, from the red team. And the longer the game lasts, the more that's going to matter, since they are scaling very, very quickly. But that bot lane is still a problem. They need to win a Dragonite, and if they, the red team, and if they do, they can definitely go for it. Right now, there's a catapult in the mid lane that could become a problem. Nobody rotates over, but the fight at the bottom of the map is going to be a bit more important for the time being. Siege Shines have been taken too. Genji in trouble. Stun, not happening. What an entomb! Fuck me, that thing was awesome. Genji is down, and Anduin didn't know who to pull out first. Beautifully done. Another kill. Jojo is dead. They got a double. Now they can try to go for Urel. They should be able to drop her too. There's the first hit. There's the stun attempt. The slow is there, and goodbye Space Goat. It's a Dragonite for sure, and this might be game. Beautiful play here. That Tomb in particular was just glorious with the follow-up. He had at least 2 people there, and it was just so well done. They're moving into the middle. They're going to try and end the game here and make this a 2-0 lead, but boy, what a turnaround in the late game. Glorious play. 80,000 damage from Deathwing, and that is a victory in game number 2. No chance for nothing else to do to turn this around again. That was nicely done. What a beautiful team fight. Level 23 versus 22, 9 kills to 6, and it is GG as Team Marcel picks up a 2-0 lead in the best of 5. Nicely done. Well played. Game number 3. It's all direct pass, boys. We got Team Marcel, aka Don't Ban Malthael, with a 2-0 lead. They got a bit spicy on the second map. It honestly looked like they would lose it, but now we see them here with a 2-0 advantage over their opponents. Now, we have seen comebacks, big comebacks, in this particular tournament already. But every time that you're 0-2 in the best of 5, you of course have to dig really, really deep in order to make it work. Can they pull it off? Time will tell. We'll see. But right now we have Inuburak banned, we got Vala banned out, and also the ban on Hogger. I mean, on Alterac it's a big map. I would expect that, I mean, the Haka usually gets also targeted here. It should be a really interesting one now, because given... Like, what have we seen so far? What we've seen so far is a very good macro play from Team Marcel in the first place, and then nothing else to do on the second map, shutting that down a little bit and very heavily attacking in team fights. But this is a massive map, so technically speaking, there is now a chance that Team Marcel is gonna come in swinging with big macro plays, trying to out-rotate the opponent. Maybe an early Lucio pick even, now that he hasn't been banned out. But yeah, if they are anywhere near the macro play that they showed us in the first game, then this should be pretty okay for them. Sylvana's playing a big role too. I could see her first pick here again, but they go for Stukov. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. Sylvanas and Lucio are both up and could be picked early. They can go, if they value, for example, Leoric again as highly as they did in previous games, he might be picked as well. But yeah, this is now going to be very interesting. I want to see what kind of strategy. There's Leo. What kind of strategy the red team brings in. And there's Sylvanas. Okay, so they go for Leoric and Sylvanas right away. To be absolutely honest with you, one of the picks or one of the strategies that I would have loved to see here is what we've seen sometimes in Europe, that you go for Lucio, Greymane, and Sylvanas. And then you just have them push on different lanes the entire time, or speed them up on a single lane and totally take structures down and just run around your opponent. That's something that you can definitely try and do. But with Sylvanas alone, this is already scary. Question is simply, do they ban out Lucio? Do they allow that? We have Blaze and Jojo as a very strong frontline. As a frontline has been super popular in Europe for a long time too. Washed Up in particular were the first one to very regularly pick Jojo and Blaze. It must have been, boy, 2 years ago when that started. For a long time it was like their preferred comp, and we still see it to the day. But what does the blue team ban out? Is this now something where they are banning a Falstad? Is this something where they ban Lucio? What do they get rid of, given the draft? Now, Genji gets banned. Keep in mind that with Leo now and Stukov already taken for the blue team, there's also, I mean, a high probability that we're not going to get that double support. We've seen one earlier today, but I don't think it's going to happen here. So, without Anduin, Leorigus should be able to get way more value out of those Entombs. And he's been pretty much spot on with a lot of the Entombs that we've seen earlier already. But what's the ban? Is it Lucio? It's Zeratul. So Zeratul is banned. It's also low mobility. Are they picking Lucio in the first place? Are they going to try and take advantage of the extra speed, of the big map, try and out-rotate the opponent, and go for just a mix between pushing lanes and going for the objective again, similar to what they played on Infernal Shrines, where they did that from the beginning? Sylvanas is already a nice step in any direction. I mean, she's getting good damage out. She can push structures down. Help with the defense. Okay, they go Brightwing and they go Diablo. More of a traditional one. Not trying to be too sneaky with this. Brightwing with the global, also quite useful here. Tychus is also taken. Previously, we've seen Tychus banned out a lot when they pick Diablo, but this time he'll have to deal with, I assume, the bigger they are. I mean, Tychus in general is just strong here. And there's Falstad, so they get a global. They can counterplay this a bit. Very solid draft. 3 StarCraft heroes. Can't complain about that. We get a Fire Bat. We got Stukov, the Admiral is in the house. Tigers on top of it. So, okay. So, as it stands, we need one more either frontliner or a damage dealer. Is please ban Malthael gonna play Malthael at some point today? I don't think so. They go for Chromie! From playing a real dragon on map number 2, they're playing a fake dragon in game 3. Well, it is what it is. Alderac Pass, game number 3, maybe even the last one of the series. Let's find out together if Team Marcel can get the 3-0 victory, or if nothing else to do is bringing this back now. Off we go, game number 3, on the left side, nothing else to do, playing this out with Jojo and Blaze at the front. We currently have Stukov for the heals and Falstad and Tychus for the damage, with especially Tychus going straight into the dash here as the level 1 talent. It's been a while since we've seen Tychus. Seen some crazy Tychus builds in this tournament. I mean, I'm talking crazy stuff. Team Marcel, aka Don't Ban Malthael, on the right side of the map is playing this out with Brightwing as their support, Leo and Diablo at the front line, and for the damage we get Sylvanas and Chromie! Shut up. But yep, off we go. We got Lurking Arm build focused again. We're definitely going to keep an eye on Tychus and see what exactly he's going to do here. But that being said, it's the Osson's renewal again for the extra sustain on the side of Leo. The Chrome Star with the once again the first time. And a bit of a brawl in the middle of the map as per usual. So who's going to take the lead in game number 3? I mean, it's a big opportunity for the red team to move towards the next round right away. Already a little bit of poking down here. Up at the top, they want the kill. And they get damage in against Blaze, but it's not enough to take him down. But of course, if you have Sylvanas, if you're left alone on the lane at any point, it's very easily going to cost you a tower or two. I like that they're going for the camp here immediately as it's up, and the same is also happening on the side of Team Marcel. I've been talking in the past how important this camp is and that you should take it every time that it comes off cooldown. But yeah, this is obviously the ongoing thing here. So both teams are trying to take it as quickly as they possibly can. And yep, with this we now have Leo still busy in the mid lane. But up at the top, they're apparently trying to go for a bit of a sneaky approach on the side lane. A bit of a gank set up against Blaze. It's not going to work out too well. Ah, he nearly got him. Nearly got him, but he gets out. Okay. Just a bit of early skirmishing. Objective is going to be set up in roughly 45 seconds too. Normally the teams wait until, say, level 7 until they're even making a move for this one. But at this point, we have in the mid lane still a bit of extra pressure happening. The level 4 talents are going to kick in. That's going to answer a few questions, especially on the side of Tychus right now. We have seen a lot of Masters in the rhythm. That's the one that I didn't really expect to see being played here, because they picked him against Dibble, so I thought the bigger they are would be what's getting claimed here, but we have the stacks coming in for them. Alright. Master Assassin, usually a big favorite here in the Asian meta as well. The extra attack speed that you get for Odin is pretty big. That said, we've seen Drill picked, I think, 3 times in this tournament, despite the fact that some of these guys have picked Master Assassin, which made no sense whatsoever to me. But yeah, some builds here are just wild. Absolutely crazy. But okay, so we get the stacks. He's going to try and get the extra duration for the minigun. That's going to make him really dangerous also in the team fights. Leo still will have to be very, very careful when the trait gets activated. We now have also, with level 4, Leo with a ghastly reach here. And he is reaching. Starting to reach for the birdie, and the birdie's in real trouble, and that could be a kill, and it is! Brightwing spitting the magic spit straight onto Falstad, and he dissolves into a little pile of feathers. Back into the KFC basket. A lot of chicken wings right there, which immediately makes me hungry again, and that's not a good thing. Hungry Khaldor is an unhappy Khaldor. An unhappy Khaldor is a grumpy Khaldor, and you don't want to experience grumpy Khaldor. That's not a good thing. But yeah, so either way, we currently have, with level 7 talents kicking in, also the objective very likely starting to become the focus of the engage. And well, the first thing that becomes the engage is actually a move against our boy Tychus that nearly leads to him being dropped here. Went for the Relentless Soldier on level 7 with the Growing Infestation being picked again and the Secret Weapon. So more side lane pressure, technically, for Falstad if he's going to try and play that one out. He's currently down at the bottom of the map and is still in a position where he has to deal with Leoric, who's just hammering away on him. Yeah, in the middle of the map, on the other hand, they're still doing their thing here and trying to make maybe another move for the camp. That's the thing with Stukov on this map. If you have Stukov here, you can pretty much not take the camp. I really like that Brightwing is trying, and I'm honestly amazed that she's able to pull it off. Thanks to Chromie, Stukov had to reposition. But if they can take that back and Stukov gets back into his spot over here, it's very likely not going to be taken. But at least the lead is, of course, already a bit of a win for the red team, and it puts more and more pressure onto nothing else to do, which they are definitely not going to enjoy. That's already 10 seconds, 10 easy seconds taken. Sylvanas has to jump back out. There's no level 10 abilities yet, so she didn't have to be afraid of any Blessed Shield here. Who has to be a little bit afraid after nearly killing Leo is Falstad. Yeah. He nearly got dropped there. If the last hit connects from Chromie, then it is a go. But Chromie is the first one with the old slowing sands are in. Tychus, by the way, he is not getting a lot of stacks right now. He's sitting at 9 stacks. Not a whole lot. Yeah, I know. I just said that. I know. I just said it. I mean, dude, come on. Don't be so angry all the time. But yeah, so 1 kill to 0. We nearly have level 10 for the red team, but they're still forced into the fight over here. They gotta stop this. Only 10 seconds left. And this might be objective number 1 in favor of nothing else to do. They interrupt again, and this is looking great. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Can they get a kill? Brightwing interrupted again. 1 second. Blaze is down. So is Brightwing. And the objective is taken. Nice. Kill for a kill, but it's nothing else to do that gets the first cavalry. And that fight also gave Blaze, and not Blaze, gave Tychus a chance to finally get a couple of stacks together. So he's currently sitting at 32. We get mind control this time. So no arrow, but mind control it is. Brightwing has been played a lot with Emerald Wind here, but are we going to get the heals this time? The defense is slowly on, and I still want to see what's happening on level 10. What is Tychus going to do right now? Is it happening? No! There we go. Finally, they're going for Odin. Yeah, again, I don't trust them anymore. I've seen too many drills in this tournament for it to be an accident. So I love that we're seeing meta talents kicking in here. So they're going for Odin, really willing to play this one out and maybe even pushing with it. He doesn't drop it yet, but he gets mind controlled and gets immediately focused down, or nearly focused down. That Ford helped out too. I got scary for him. I mean, real scary. Not a whole lot lost by the red team to the objective. They lost some of their towers and gates. They didn't lose any forts yet, and very few forts got even damaged. So far so good. Still a bit of a half-level lead. 1 kill ahead. But yeah, no crazy moves are being made. Both of the teams are still looking for a decent opening. Not really fully committing to anything here just yet. The early objectives obviously not scaling that heavily yet, so you gotta be a bit careful around that either way. But yep, here we go. Middle of the map. Another attempt to get a bit more damage in, and there's the... How did they move out of that entomb? What? I mean, I called bullshit on that one. Did you see that? What did Stukov do? He somehow turned into Lucio and went for a wall slide or something. Now Leoric is dead. So first is his tomb get glitched. They're gonna take another look at it. I don't think that was legit. Was that legit? So first we have them here in the middle, and then Leo comes in, tries to drop the entomb. Look at that, he just walks through it. Look at that fucker. Stukov joining one of the StarCraft Secret Services or something like that. I mean, that guy has some serious skills I never knew. Some hidden talents that I wasn't aware of. Goes for the wall slide. I thought it was ETC. Apparently he stole that one. Damn, now the boss at the top gets attacked. The red team was trying to fight for it, and they're getting massively murdered because of it. They're losing Diablo, and they're going to lose way more here. Jesus, that's 3 down. 3 heroes down, and the boss lost. That's rough. Yeah, that is really a problem. Okay, so I think momentum is now swinging heavily in favor of the blue team. I mean, that top boss fight, as you can see here, that one hurt them a lot. Now the objective is up, and they are starting to go for that, plus also pushing the bot lane a little bit as they're starting to make their play. They go for the double boss play even. Sylvanas is trying her best up at the top, but now I mean, they're going for everything. The leading experience is not that crazy yet, but I think that, yeah, top 4 is gone. They should be able to at least prevent the objective from being taken, but of course the lead is there. It's actually kind of impressive to see that the experience gap is not that big. Yeah, that's kind of wild. I thought that after the boss gets taken, after both get claimed, it would be a bigger lead for them, but so far that's not the case. It's going to depend a bit on this fight, though. I think they're very likely going to take it now. Leave the boss alone at the bot lane. But yeah, they should try and prevent that from joining, because that's too much. They need to win that team fight. Nice coordination, good jet propulsion too, though. Leo is trying to waste their time as much as he can in the back, but the red team is the one that's getting beaten to a pulp here. First it's Leo to dive. Brightwing is nearly dead. Diablo indeed does die, and so does Sylvanas. That is an absolute waffle stomp that we're experiencing right now. They're even going for the Gus. They're not hitting Chromie, but they can get the kill, and this might be a full 5-man wipe. Chromie is only delaying the inevitable here. She's going to fall for sure and gets murdered right there. Full 5-man wipe. Bot lane is wide open. There's a camp in the mid lane that is taking, or that is doing damage to the blue team's fort, but that's about it. Yeah, that is just brutal. They're completely crushing them right now. It's a totally different game from what we've seen on map 1 and map number 2. They have the objective as well, so it's a 2-level lead, a level 16 talent advantage. The first keep about to be taken at the bot lane, now the objective is in play. They have a talent advantage, which now gives them the sizzling attacks. And yeah, Sylvanas is nearly dead. I don't think they're going to make a move for the core here. But they should make a move for a second keep, or they at least should try. I mean, if you're that far ahead, why wouldn't you? So, yep, mid lane, Fort is down, top lane, Leo is dealing with this, so it's a 5 versus 4 in the middle with a talent advantage and a level lead and an objective. I mean, how bad can he get, right? Oh, kids are getting killed here. 74 stacks for Tigers. They open the wall, but they can't take the second keep down. Team Marcel is in a world of pain. For them to come back, I mean, step 1, get level 16. Step 2, take a team fight and win it. They could force one around the boss in 1.5 minutes. Next objective, of course, when it's up. But currently, they are in real trouble. They lost the first armor shield on the core. It's not going to be that big of a deal yet, but yeah, maybe they can start a comeback here. I mean, again, we've seen crazy comebacks in this series and in the tournament in particular. But of course, that's exactly also what the team in blue is currently trying to accomplish. They're 0-2. And there's another engage and another stun. Gast is out. The coordination is spot on in this game. The momentum that they gained here, it's really showing, and it is doing wonders for them. They come in with one kill after another, play after play being made. And there's just no bringing this back. This is just looking way too good. Yeah, this should be pretty much the nail in the coffin here. They are pulling ahead with a 1.5 level lead, which should be too much to they shouldn't be able to close this one. Especially since the objective is now up in 20 seconds. I mean, what are you going to do? They're trying to siege up at the bot lane to get that keep. Yeah, and with everybody joining in, who's going to stop them? Second armor shield removed means that the core is going to be under serious pressure, and if you win another team fight, then that's also going to be the end of this very, very quickly. So yeah, I like the way that they're trying to play this one out, and it should be nearly impossible to turn around now for the red. This is the only team that the only fight that the red team gets from here out. I mean, this is the only fight. This is the last one. After this, we're talking level 20. So you gotta force it here. The keep, by the way, has not been destroyed. So the keep is still there. Still in play. Very low, but it technically still means that there's no catapult pressure. Alright, so they're going for Blaze. Diablo dies. As long as they get the counter kill, it might be alright, but they just don't. They lose Brightwing again. They're getting farmed. They're getting absolutely farmed right now. Falstad is flying once again, trying to force Chromie back out. Gets the hit in on this, which means that after the timeout, Chromie is going to be dead. And, well, that is 3 heroes down. So now you just gotta ask yourself, how do you want to end the game? They go for the objective, so they're gonna get that. They should also, apparently they're gonna go for boss, which isn't a bad idea either. Playing it a bit safer than I thought they would. I honestly expected them to go just straight for the keep in the middle and then for the core, but nope. That is gonna be very likely the end of it. I mean, with level... Guys, this is gonna be level 20. Big lead in kills, a boss at the top lane, the objective pushing. There is no saving this one anymore. It's way too much. Yeah, by now we have the level 20 talents. And here we go. Incinerate Gauntlet is now in. Chromie with the 38,000 has at least put the numbers onto the board, but that's obviously not enough to do anything here. She just can't lock those kills in. We got the top off for Stukov. More importantly, the Bob and Weave. 100 stacks for the level 4 on Tychus. He's getting tons and tons of damage with his trade right now. The extra duration is fantastic. But okay, here we are. They're starting to go through the top lane. Yeah, objective isn't even here yet. But they're just dealing with the boss now. And the red team is trying to do what they can. It's a 4 vs 5 topside, by the way, because Falstad is still in the middle. Just taking these minion waves down so that they can get most of it. Team Marcel is putting up a valiant effort as they're trying to somehow save the day here. But the cavalry is just now approaching. And let's keep in mind that this is going to remove another armor shield from the core, so the bottom push is going to be even more dangerous. And as the mid lane is also falling, there's just no way to hold this any longer. Sylvanas is already gone, so yeah, they're getting just taken apart here. The objective alone is going to end the game. But that was well played. Very well played by the blue team. It took them a while to get going, but in game number 3, they are finally able to put a point onto the scoreboard as we are slowly headed for game number 4. In this best of 5. Nicely done. Well played. Well, turns out that Garden of Terror is in the map pool and is actually taken. So here we are. Yeah, teams were fucking around with me a little bit. They were switching sides twice. I had to adjust the overlay the entire time because apparently nothing else to do, wanted to play on the right side this time. Now, there is a bit of a myth going on, and that has also been pretty apparent during the Heroes International, that the blue team wins more games, or the general chance of winning the match is higher when you're on the blue team in competitive play. Technically that's true, but only because people don't think that through. So the reason why the blue team wins more often is very simple. In every normal tournament format, the top team in a bracket pairing features at the top the better team, which has the higher seed. So that team obviously wins more often, and the top seed in a bracket pairing translates to the left side, aka blue. That's why blue has a higher win rate in tournaments than the red team, because the favored team plays on the left. So just in case that people were wondering about that a bit, it was a slight discussion that we had in Twitch chat, and I think it's kind of important to include that in the YouTube videos as well, because it's probably something a lot of people don't really know. So yeah, there it is. But, well, we are in game number 4, so nothing else to do. They have been able to put a point onto the board, and Team Marcel is now coming in here with a ban on Jojo and also banning out Genji, whereas Vala has been eliminated by the blue team. And this is match point number 2. Second match point right here for them now. And the big opportunity to pull ahead and move on to the winner bracket final. The winner bracket grand final. That's a little bit of a weird one. Yeah, so yeah, the winner bracket final. Which, by the way, is still supposed to take place today, which is something that I am a little bit skeptical of, because it is already now 7:30 p.m. in Europe, which means that if this ends with map 4, it's going to be 8 p.m. as the match is over. And that means it's, I think, in Taiwan, unless I'm mistaken, it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning by that time. Starting the grand final at that time seems like a wildly optimistic suggestion. So I don't know if that is really happening, but I was at least told that the plan was to start the grand final, the winner bracket final today. I'm like confusing myself at this point. Time will tell. Diablo and Tigers get picked together, so they don't want to waste the ban on Tigers. They want to still prevent him from being taken against Diablo, so they picked the two together. Not necessarily bad. It's Garden of Terror, and honestly, I'm looking at what the red team just locked in, and this seems like an insane combo. I am a bit surprised that they go for Stukov. I really expected that they go for either Brightwing or for Lucio with this. But having Hogga and Dehaka on Garden of Terror, I mean, normally when you tell me that a team starts off with that particular draft, I would be like, okay, GG, go next. Hogga is insane here because of the speed with which he can clear camps. And then on top of that, you have Dehaka for the global. That's pretty wild. I mean, you can play a mad macro game with those guys. If you now add Brightwing or Lucio to this and rotate around maybe with the Sylvanas, I really think they could have played around the opponent without ever having the team fight. So the Stukov pick, not so sure if I really like it for those specific reasons. But the blue team, right now, they have the chance to pick Sylvanas. Take maybe also either Brightwing or Lucio for themselves. But this is a really interesting draft. I mean, Garden of Terror is one of the biggest maps in the map pool and has a ton of mercenary camps. So here comes Blaze. If I'm Team Malthael, I don't want to fight this. Rhaegar is here too, and, well, he can speed you up on the camp clear with the lightning shield, obviously. But here comes the last 2 picks. And, I mean, bring it, boys. Who's the damage dealer? Should be... They go for Hanzo over Sylvanas, okay. If you wanted to just push down structures, Sylvanas would have been a bit stronger. Yeah, but Hanzo, of course, can dish out a lot of pain, and is also good in the team fights. With the arrow in particular. And their main tank is Muradin. Expected the draft to go a little bit different after they had Hogga and Dehaka initially. But they can still use Hogga and Dehaka with... I mean, on the macro side, a lot. If it's going to happen that way, let's find out. But the final the final pick for map number 4. Again, it's match point number 2. So Team Marcel has another chance to win the game here. And we get a Junkrat. Haven't seen one this series yet, so our first Junkrat in this best of 5. Yeah, the winner bracket semifinal, everybody. Let's go. Game number 4 between Team Marcel, aka Don't Ban Malthael, and nothing else to do. Let's head straight into it without further ado. Game number 4, nothing else to do on the left side with Diablo and Blaze. We got Junkrat Tigers for the damage and Rega for the heals. On the right side of the map, Team Marcel is playing this one out with a triple front line, rocking the Haka, Mirrodin, and Hogger. Hanzo's the only range damage dealer, and we got a Stukov on top of that. So, as it stands, it is a 2-1 lead in the series for the team in red, and well, they got a shot, second match point, to take the series and move on to the winner bracket final. So we'll see if they can finally make that happen, or if we're gonna go for another 5-mapper with nothing else to do, locking in a victory on Garden of Terror and forcing the final map in the series. At this point, we have down to a little bit of a trap setup already by Mirrodin. And yep. They go for... Yeah, I think Junkrat is dead. Now! No Stormbolt! Did I see that right? Did he not YOLO it out? I think he was hit too early by the mine and didn't time it properly. But that could have been a kill for sure. Good job of Junkrat getting out of this one. I thought he was dead for sure. So, yeah. Nicely done. But yeah, either way. As it stands, we now have a bit of a wall stun happen. Oh, yeah, that should be the end of it. This time it's Stukov that falls, so they were the first ones to have an opportunity to get a kill, but now they lose Stukov, and that's first blood for the blue team. Good on them, really bringing the pain here, and trying very aggressively to get to a 5th map and pull that reverse sweep off. Not unheard of, but always very difficult. And Hogger up here, he needs to be careful too, like, yeah, a little bit of an assist maybe? Hogger! Alright, the Hogger's taking over. Hogger's realizing that this could actually backfire. So they take the camp, they got it. They have another one down here at the bottom of the map too. It's a bit of a pressure play by the blue team, as they're not only trying to go for Mirrodin, and, well, they might even get him. No. Okay, so he gets out. But they were trying to make a play for him and go for the wall too. First tower is down, second one about to be eliminated. And here we are, Master Assassin on level 4 for Taika, so the build has changed a little bit, way more into the typical European Taika style that we are seeing here, with a grenade on level 1 leading things, and then the Master Assassin on level 4 for the extra attack speed on Odin. Not playing anything against Mirrodin here, chunking down a little bit harder. But we have in the mid lane another camp destroyed, so it's all about trying to deal with all of the camps that are being set en route now. As explained a bit earlier during the draft, this map has the most mercenary camps of all the maps that are in the competitive pool. And therefore, if you have heroes that are really good at taking them quickly, you can oftentimes really bring the pain here. And talking about bringing the pain, they're going again for Junkrat, and this time the Stormbolt connects from the get-go, but they can't get the kill. But they are definitely putting the pressure onto him, so he needs to be super careful with this. The first seed is also up, and it seems that Team Marcel is just in a better position because of the spawn, and should be able to take this. But Mirrodin is maybe cutting this a little bit close here. Still has his jump and can quickly get out of harm's way. But yep, in comes the Haka. Good wall stun. Trying to go for the drag mate. Yeah, but misses it. Misses the drag, but they're still poking. We had 15 stacks also for Rega, who went into the Stormcaller as his level 1 talent. Adjustment, I suppose, made because of the map, and they get a second kill. Yeah, kill number 2. 2 kills to 0. Guys, blue team, they really don't want to give up here, do they? They are playing for the 5th game. They don't want to drop down into the losers bracket. They want to have that chance to move on to the next round of the winner bracket. And maybe even make it all the way to the grand final. Yeah, Stukov is dead too, so all of a sudden there's a third one that they're able to lock in, and this is starting to get better and better and better for nothing else to do. I told you during the draft already that if I'm Team Marcel, I don't really want to fight this 5-man. And that still holds true. You have a very, very strong team here with a beefy front line, with a lot of sustain, especially with Blaze in the bunker. And then you have Tigers behind it, Junkrat for a lot of wave clear and poke. Maybe Junkrat a bit on the squishy, but still, this is a very, very strong team. And it will all depend on how Team Marcel is playing this in the mid game, but at least for now, they are having some serious trouble dealing with what's being played here by the blue team. Dibbles is still looking for a kill and pushes Hogger out, and that's the kill number 4. 4 kills right there. Really nice Diablo play too. Was waiting this out perfectly. Beautiful engage, cutting him off just as he was attempting to retreat. Hogger never really saw that one coming and got punished for it. And now they are trying to use that little advantage they just had to simply take the camp. Diablo is controlling the area over here to make sure that nobody can invade and take it away. Murden was maybe thinking about it for a second, but if you jump in there, then you're right in front of Diablo. He's going to wall stun you, and you're going to regret that. So some of the camps are now already being stolen. It's not a big lead in experience. Half a level at the most. But them taking now a few more camps is definitely going to help them. And I like how the blue team controls the flow of this. Now they have also taken the first seed, so that's even a bit more important, because remember, the first seed spawned towards the right side of the map, so it was much easier from a positioning point of view for Team Marcel to lock it in, but it was claimed by the blue team, and now they themselves have a pretty secure seat at the top left that they should be able to get. Once that's the case, if they can do that, they have a 2-0 lead and are threatening the first objective against Team Marcel. Now Odin is in, we get an Apocalypse this time instead of the Lightning Breath, and that allows for even more stun plays that could be executed here. So yeah, they're trying to also steal another camp away, and it seems that with level 10 there's nobody willing to stop them. Experience is still being claimed by the red team, but they're a little bit too late to make a play for that camp, so they had to give a second one up. And that allows for a pressure play at the top lane that should at least result in the wall and the towers being eliminated, but maybe even some extra damage on the fort itself. No surprises with level 10. Yeah, but they go for the aggressive play and they get the tongue connect, but it doesn't really help them too much. Good arrow into the back line. That is doing damage. Oh, beautiful stun. That was glorious. They get the double stun, and they're getting the double kill thanks to it. Especially, of course, the shockwave of Hogger helped out a lot here. So, Team Marcel not giving up on this yet, but saying like, boys, we're gonna bring this in. Look at this. That was so well done here. So they're starting things off with the shockwave, or they're finishing it with the shockwave. Lurking Arm comes in. They get the double kill, bringing them back very quickly. And now they can even pressure for Tychus, and they take him. Look at Stukov going full boss mode. Yeah, that's a promotion right there. I'm not quite sure what exactly comes after Admiral, but good job, my friend. Comes in and takes Tychus down, so that's another kill. It's the third one, and all of a sudden the red team is ahead in experience. Quite massively. So now we got 3 kills to 4. And the play for the next seed. Now, from a seed perspective, nothing else to do, is still heavily ahead. I mean, they took 2 of the 2 seeds, so this one has to be fought for, and it will. And as you can tell right here, they're going to grab it now. They're going to, well, at least they're going to try. This isn't over yet. The Haka is still up at the top. Are they giving this up? What? That was a fail. A fail and a half, so they are just giving this up. I mean, if you are deciding to do it because you feel it's the best way to defend against them, fair enough, but they actually tried to interrupt. They just messed it up massively. So Blaze has to bunker up, and Sestro is out too. If they win the team fight, it's a different story, but look at that combo against Hanzo. It takes down the damage dealer, and now Team Marcel is in real trouble again. Yeah, that is real trouble for them, because not only did they just lose Hanzo, who's great at defending here for them too, they lost the bottom fort, they're going to lose the top fort for sure, and they're probably also going to lose either the fort in the middle or at least the wall at the bottom of the map. So this spiraled out of control very quickly. We had 3 kills for the red team where they looked really good, and then they screwed up the 3rd seed, lost one of their heroes in the process, and are now getting crushed on pretty much every single lane. Yeah, that went south very quickly. The wall at the keep is already gone. Up at the top, a bit more damage being done. The fort in the middle of the map also low. They are technically still a bit ahead in experience, but that was a huge blow to the red team, and it's a real problem for them. They're trying to defend in the middle, but yeah, they cannot be happy with what just happened here. I mean, That was not a good look. Not in the slightest. So here comes the Haka. They're trying to make up for it. Big arrow. Big arrow. 4-man arrow. What a follow-up. Can they get the kills, though? They're getting a kill on Diablo, at least. They want more than that, of course. But what a beautiful setup. They should have gotten more than one kill with this one. Couple of interrupts by the blue team as they were trying to shut them down here. But I gotta say, that was glorious. That could have been, that should have been at least 2 or 3 kills. Yeah, the APOC only connecting with Stukov. Nobody else dying just yet. Diablo's obviously back to business, but he lost all of his soul stacks, so he's back to the bare minimum. The souls that he doesn't lose, those are the souls, by the way, of the Blizzard executives that cancelled HGC. Diablo just decided at some point that they are evil people, and he will always keep those souls. He's never gonna let go of them. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. So they lost their soul a long time ago, and Diablo is happy to keep them. They got a kill on Hanzo now too. But yeah, 14 to 14, 6 kills to 4. Bit of damage done. Still some of these camps taken away. Let's take a quick look also at the mercenary experience, because we now have, yeah, big lead in mercenary experience from the blue team. So yeah, they're looking good here. Another fort gets taken down in the middle of the map, so structurally the blue team is pulling further and further ahead as the game continues. What I really want to see, though, is what happens as the game progresses, because there is a global that we still have to account for, and that's one of the main reasons. Look at the minion experience between the two teams. Look at the insane difference in minion experience. That is to a big chunk because of not only the Haka, but also Hogger. And that means a lot. Camp is stolen. The shockwave hit nothing but dead air. And, well, they're coming in again here. They're looking for the kill, especially Tychus is in trouble with Odin, but he gets healed by the Ancestral, and they turn away from it once again. Now, down to the bot lane, they have to really send somebody over to deal with this as quickly as possible, because as you can tell, this is not going to last much longer. So, once again, they're also trying to get a couple of these camps here. So, doing their best to maybe even go for Diablo and another kill. They're still ahead in experience, which is the crazy part. Despite them losing so many structures and losing out on all the mercenary camps, they are still ahead in XP and will hit the early level 16. They just have to really play with it and get an advantage out of it. That hasn't happened so far. The bottom keep has taken damage. And yeah, it's not gonna be easy. This is the 4th seed in a row that has been taken by the blue team. So 0 objective control from Team Marcel. They need to do something. They need to change the flow of this. It's 16 versus 16 in the moment. Another seed is up. They're trying to steal the camp away here. But yeah, they need to do something in these team fights. I don't think that they have the time to wait for 20. The camp not taken. Pushed out, arrow connects, nicely done. Reptire, they're still Gucci. Siege Giants have been locked in now. Here comes Diablo with the wall engaged. They're not over this yet. Another shockwave, completely missing. That's the 2nd one in a row where Hogger didn't connect with a single hero. And it was also not really a shockwave that they needed at the moment in time. Looked a bit like a better safe than sorry play, but they are now moving away from the seed, and they can't afford to give another one up. It will put pressure on them with every other objective. Diablo, though, is in real trouble, and this is a 5 versus 4. The Haka coming back in, gets the drag. That has to be killed. The Storm Bolt, and he's dead. Tychus down. That's the play. Tychus is dropped, and now a chance to go for the seed. Finally put one onto the scoring board, and also defend the top lane as the Haka is utilizing his global again. I mean, again, this is absolutely crucial. Without the Haka, this might even already be game. But the fact alone that the Haka, with all of that side lane pressure, was able to keep them alive is just incredible. So they go again for Blaze. The fight here isn't over, but the wall's done. Meridian is trying to get out. He's still alive and is able to jump away. Blaze nearly fell, by the way. Riptire into the face of Stukov. The Haka is now joining the fight again. He, by the way, couldn't global in. Cooldown wasn't ready yet. Comes in for the interrupt. Hanzo has also moved away from this one. So yeah, this isn't over by a long shot. It's a 5 versus 5 again. They're going for interrupt after interrupt. They're trying to isolate Diablo again. And thanks to the drag, they forced the Ancestral out of Rhaegar. A lot of ults used by nothing else to do that they might not be too happy about giving up here. They are still trying to fight this out. Eventually, moving back might be the better choice, unless, of course, they have a kill opportunity here. But it's getting dicey. The shockwave is out. Not used yet, but look at these locks by them. Shockwave attempt, and he gets crushed before he can use it. Hogger is fucking quite a few of these up. He could have used that shockwave already earlier, and he didn't. And now they might fall apart again. Stukov! Yeah, he gets out. Everybody else too. Hanzo is low. Tychus has died. And Hanzo with, I mean, less than 30 HP is moving away. But they grab the seat now. I gotta say, Hogger, I am not so sure. He's too greedy. He wanted to go for the engage and then connect the shockwave. And yes, if it works out, then of course Bob's your uncle. But if he just used the shockwave in the choke point right here a bit earlier, he would have at least got one stun, probably two, and they could have followed up with a kill. So this is now the third shockwave in a row that failed for him. This time he was interrupted. The previous two he didn't hit. Now it's 2 seats against 0, meaning 5 in a row have been taken by nothing else to do. They're still in the game. They're not looking too bad in these team fights, but they are just a bit too greedy. They should be able to capitalize on situations like the last one in a much better fashion. So, yeah. As it stands right now, it is gonna be difficult. They need a team fight victory, and they need to have it sooner rather than later. They still go for the camps. They have Hogger at the bot lane, which I also don't get. That should be the Haka. I think he has his global backup. So it's a bit interesting to see that Hogger is the one that is currently holding the lane here. But he will have to join this soon. The Haka is dealing with the mid lane, as this all pans out slowly. But yep, up at the top, they can't allow this to happen. There's the interrupt. Hogger's on his way. So is the Haka. Stukov is doing the same. This is the big one. This is the big fight right here. They have to win this one, or it's going to be another set of Garden Terrors. And that would probably at least eliminate one keep, if not two. There's the stun, alright. Mirrodin is able to jump out. Had to sacrifice Hanzo's arrow on the other hand to interrupt the flow of the blue team a bit. Yeah, Hogger's still waiting. Yeah, it's coming in from behind. They're waiting for level 20. They want level 20 at this point in time, and they should be able to get it. So the blue team falls away. They don't want to risk going up against Storm Talons, and therefore the first seed, after 17 minutes, the first seed for the red team. Now, we got the push through the top lane here. They're trying to take maybe finally a fort down. Keep in mind they haven't taken a single major structure apart yet, so that would be the first one. But yes, they're making their move. There's level 20 for both teams. It gives us the big red button again. We also got the burn notice. Hellgate is in. They try to play for Hanzo, and the stun didn't work out. Diablo just stood himself up. Great play by Hogger to provide the stun. And he forced also the bunker out of Blaze. That one was a real good retreat. So first of all, Diablo didn't get the proper connect with the Hellgate here and could have killed Hanzo. So saving him was great. And then also forcing the bunker out of Blaze, that was huge. That is one big cooldown that is now gone as the next seed is about to spawn. So yep, here we go. Starting to do the thing. We now have still the hits happening. Mid lane fort has in the meantime been destroyed, by the way. So yeah, at least those pushers, mercenaries, camp and minions are doing some work. That's the first structure. Top side still not knocked down. 28 seconds until Blaze is back. And yep, off we go. So here's the hits coming. And we have them in position, but the longer they wait, if they wait too long, then Blaze is going to have his bunker back up. And that's something that you definitely would like to avoid here. There's the shockwave attempt, gets interrupted again. The Sky is just not lucky. Shockwave attempt interrupted. Rhaegar is dead though. They go for Diablo. They get the double kill! Yes, they get the double and they can move for the next one. Nicely done. With that, they now have also the Haka moving towards the top. We have 8 kills to 7. Level 20. Maybe that was what they needed here. 2 seeds to 2. So the red team could still come back here. The 2-1 score. Who wins the map? Do we go the full distance, or is Team Marcel bringing this back in the late game? They still need to take some of those forts down. They need to take the one at the top lane, which is now at 50%. They want the mercenary camps again, and with the seed spawning towards the top left, this is going to be where the big battle really is going to take place. Ults should be ready by then. Rhaegar is going to be back up. 10 seconds. They could take the position a bit earlier. Could maybe even try to push something here. If they can, of course, catch someone, that would be the dream, but I don't think that's going to be a thing. So here we go. 25 seconds for Muradin to get his avatar back for extra sustain. Rhaegar's on the map. That's a problem. Siege Giant Camp and Catapults at the top. The longer the fight lasts, the more the top keep is going to be exposed. So, yep, here we are, and Diablo dies instantly. The shockwave finally connects to the bunker, saves Blaze for now. Muradin is in their backline, looking for an added stun. Doesn't get it here, but Dehaka could get the drag. There's the stun with the Stormbolt. The drag connects, and Blaze should die. Blaze is down. Dehaka could try and save the top keep now, and they could also go for their seat. Somebody has to deal with this or it's gonna fall. I think they're sacrificing it. They're not sending anybody back. It looks like they're sacrificing the top keep. Garden Terrors are being sent out. This one is gone. Dehaka, I don't know why he's moving back. I don't get it. He's not gonna save this one. Please don't tell me he's gonna save this one. Okay, that would have been just an absolute fail on the side of the Siege Giants. So I don't know why he actually moved back here. The Garden Terror is going to do its thing already. But they're pushing this out. They're trying to go for keeps now at least. What a game. Once again, nothing else to do. They played a great mid and early game. But can they, in the late game, take another victory and force the final map of the series? The bottom keep, I don't think it can be held. They still wait for Blaze to be back up. Mid lane has at least been defeated. But how is Team Marcel now going to react? It seems like they're trying for core. They're coming in with Siege Giants. They're going to have catapults here soon too. And they can try and take the core down or at least eliminate the shield a little bit. Shield is already slowly falling, but it seems like the Garden Terror at least is going to get destroyed. So this isn't over unless they get kills. The red team is looking for kills. The top fort is going to fall. Yeah, but instead they're losing the Haka, and I think this is going to put an end to the push. So they are moving away here. Garden Terror at the top is going to take the fort down, but the chase is still on as they're looking for the Hogger, but they can't take him down. And with Hanzo just stopping their approach with another scatter shot, this is going to be that. So yeah, it's a bit wild, isn't it? Because now both teams have lost one keep. Okay, there's a stun. There's a second. What? Junkrat gets melted. Junkrat gets absolutely melted. It was a 5 versus 4 in favor of the blue team, but Junkrat was all alone. They saw an opportunity. They jumped in and they took him down. Team Marcel with the kill, and now they're even trying to threaten Diablo a little bit more. Hogger has to be careful. Is slowly starting to move out here. Is a little bit slow, but still with all the slaps from Stukov, he's keeping them at bay. This is a wild game. It's still a bit crazy to me that both teams have now lost the keep. Top keep was eliminated because of the mercenaries and the minion wave, and then the Garden Terrors doing their thing over here. But yeah, crazy. Some crazy shit happening here. Big arrow, stun, and another kill. Rhaegar is dead. They are getting these kills time and time again, and I am here for it. Beautiful connect. They see an opportunity and they take it immediately. You just gotta give a shout out to that. So well done. They're trying once again to make a similar move now over here at the top. They killed Rhaegar. It's a 5 versus 4. They move in the mid lane, but there's still a Siege Giant camp doing some work. But yeah, another big opportunity to maybe get a drop on a major structure. The keep is about to fall. That's the map wide open. They're controlling more and more of it, as you can see on the minimap. Every single lane is pushing out against them. And now they're trying to siege up as best as they can to force the issue, win the game, and move on to the winner bracket final. Nothing else to do. Trying to somehow stabilize here. Catapult still hitting the core, and we're now 24 minutes into the game, so these things are hitting like trucks top lane is going to experience that soon. And the red team is now slowly moving back, trying to gather another seed, whereas the blue team had to wait for Rhaegar to reappear. Their channel is already happening. They're going to make it work here. And that is more about them preventing the blue team from grabbing a Garden Terror than them actually getting one. It's the first seed towards that goal. But it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Not really making a move yet for the core. Not forcing it too hard. But Team Marcel, they are at it. Yeah, please don't ban Malthael is getting camps again. But it's a 5 versus 5. Now, keep in mind, they have been doing fantastic. And they've taken most of these keeps down. But then again, if they engage into a battle in a bad way, and then get maybe wiped, that top lane is wide open, so the blue team can win this. Red team should not team fight if they can prevent it from happening. They are the ones that run a global. They are the ones that have destroyed 2 keeps. They can escort catapults towards those cores and win the game that way. If you are playing a smart game here, you don't want to team fight if you're on the red team. You just want to let the Haka do his thing, make sure that he doesn't get ganked, and let the catapults crush the opponent's core. Buy some time and play the global card. That's your ticket to win this game without risking anything. At the bottom of the map, get the Haka there, take this one down, and then let him escort the catapults into the bot lane. That's what you need to do right now. And the blue team, they're not even making a move for this. They're not even moving in for it just yet. The Haka needs to be very careful that he doesn't get ganked. He's already moving away here, and good for him. So another seed is being given up. But as the game continues, it also means that catapults are becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. So the blue team is not necessarily helping themselves here by trying to delay this. They weren't happy about the position of the tribute or the seed, whatever you want to call it. But they are at least taking some camps, but the situation is still the same. There's enormous catapult pressure at the bottom and at the mid lane. And for the red team, it's not really a problem. Because if the top lane gets pushed out, that's the advantageous lane for the blue team. All that they have to do is send the Haka over there. And just look at this. The pressure is already mounting up down here. And again, these bad boys, 26 minutes into the game, they are wrecking the core. Absolutely wrecking it. They're going to totally destroy it. And the Haka is doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Move down to the bottom of the map, take these minion waves down, and force the opponent to react. He needs to move away from this, just a little bit of damage, and then waddle away. Can also hearth, whatever, just keep yourself safe. They should also take these down. Vision granted by walls is not something that they need at this point. So here comes the first catapult. First 2 catapults, they might be able to get to the core. Mid lane is pushing, but this is the seed that's going to spawn Garden Terror. So this is actually a very good position for nothing else to do. Doesn't get much better than that. Stuns are out again. Yeah, Riptide gets destroyed. Ancestral is out. He might still have to bunker up, though. Top lane, Siege Giants could destroy the keep, but this is a great position for the blue team to fight. This is the best shot that they could get. Doesn't get much better than that. They still are close to the lanes. Top side a bit of a problem, but the kill! Stukov is dead. They need a counter kill, and they need it quickly. Diablo is low, so is Tigers. The big pork from Hogger. He needs to get the kills, but he dies first. They're all so fucking low. They're all so low, but they're not dying. Blaze, at least, gets crushed, so it's a 4 versus 3, but... oh my god. Catapult on the core. Only 1. They need more than that. The attack is still happening. Muradin! He tries to get out and he gets killed. The core is still losing a couple of shield points. But boys, they're getting the Garden Terrors. We might go to game number 5. The seed spawning position was fantastic for the blue team. And they capitalized on it best they could. Now they're coming up towards the top in an attempt to end the game here as fast as they can. They don't want to play the late game anymore. It's 28 minutes into the game already. This is the best opportunity to finish this game and go to game number 5. Catapults everywhere else. It's the top lane. That's where the focus is. Blaze is down, but that Garden Terror is a beast. But they might not be able to end it. They can't. The core is losing hit points, but not nearly enough. They have to retreat. Blaze is just now coming in. The game still continues, and in the middle of the map, there's still a keep standing, and they might even be able to save it. They might just be able to save the keep. The bot lane, they're so well tacted. I mean, they're really timed. They can defend. There's no simultaneous attack by these Garden Terrors. They can defend against them one at a time. The pressure at the bottom of the map right now, but the party just continues. 13 kills against 11. Guys, we have 118,000 damage on Hanzo, 115,000 on Junkrat, and it seems like they're finally getting another keep. But even with that, it's only, I mean, it's a keep for a keep. Look how crazy close this game is. We are 30 minutes in. 30 minutes into the game, and each team still has a keep. Well, maybe that's going to change, because here they're going to try and end this. Avatar use the stun out. Muritin, Riptire. He gets ping-ponged around by Diablo. Jumps back out, and they're trying to get a kill. The Haka is also low, but the jet propulsion doesn't connect with him. Hogger's pogging a little bit, and another engage with the Hellgate. They go for Hanzo, and they take him down. Hanzo is dead. The blue team trying to make it happen. They apply pressure and they're not letting go. They got them in a chokehold now and they're not giving them an opportunity. Or do they? Diablo! Diablo! Denied! The second heal is there. Hogger is dead again. It's game. It has to be game. All the keeps are gone. Catapults are pushing in. After 31 minutes, nothing else to do. Pulls off the impossible. And they go to the core to drop it, end it all, and force game number 5. A reverse sweep all of a sudden possible. They avoid 2 match points and they bring us to the final map of the best of 5 series. GG, well played, and what an insane map, holy hell. It's really happening. Game number 5. I didn't really believe that we would be here, but we indeed are. So one of the 2 teams will move on to the winner bracket final, and the loser will drop down into the losers bracket. But here it is, Tomb of the Spider Queen. We got nothing else to do with 2 games that they now won in a row. So there is a reverse sweep potential for sure. First pick, first ban for the red team. But it's kind of bonkers. The last map lasted 31 minutes, which in and of itself is just absolutely crazy. So yeah, good stuff. And we'll see who takes victory on the final map. Is it really going to be 3 maps in a row that nothing else to do can win here? Or is Team Marcel now putting their foot down and say like, no, 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 no. We'll let you play a little bit, but we are not going to drop down into the losers bracket. We are going to move on to the next series for sure. Vala gets banned, so do Diablo and Jojo, so it's again targeting the front line very heavily, trying to eliminate that. And yeah, with the next quick first pick, I mean, I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do here. I really want to see what the play is for them. Because this is a totally different map from all of the ones that we've seen so far. You want to have your wave clear here. They go for a Urel first pick. That's wild. Urel as a first pick? Okay. I mean, Urel is obviously awesome, especially if you can pair her with a proper main tank. But as a first pick, I haven't seen that in a long, long time. But again, there are differences with the meta in Asia and what we're seeing in the West. Right now, we have Stukov together with the Haka. They're really prioritizing him very highly. Keep in mind, he was also banned out several times earlier today. But this is the last chance, and Team Marcel is obviously very well aware of that. If you don't make it happen here, then all that work in game number 1 and game number 2 was for naught. And they would drop down into the losers bracket. The only good thing is that you can go to sleep then. Because if the schedule still holds, then the winner of this match has to play another match, which is supposed to be a best of 7. And again, I want to remind everybody that currently in Taiwan, it is right now 20 past 3 AM. So this series is likely going to end shortly before 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's kind of bonkers. I'm told that the Taiwanese players are used to going for the long nights. I mean, your word in God's ear, but I still have my doubts they're going to be too happy about playing at that time of day for such an important match. I mean, there's quite a bit of prize money on the line here. We're talking about $4,000, which is for an online tournament pretty decent. So Malfurion, he gets picked together with Junkrat. We have the ban on Muradin. And yeah, it's like they're heavily addressing frontliners right now. That's the last thing you should ban at this point if you are a Team Marcel, because your opponent's going to pick before you do, and they have a tank pick. So Tychus gets eliminated. Cho'Gall incoming. Just saying. I doubt that. But yeah, so Tychus gets banned. A Nubarak is up. You could go for a Nubarak. I mean, we haven't seen a Garrosh yet either. So a Tyrael neither. I mean, there's so many tanks that have not been played. I don't want to say in the entire tournament, but at least in the games that we've seen today. So they go for the Anubarak pick. That's the one that has been played a few times. But I'm curious what Team Marcel is now going to pick up, because I think this pretty much exhausts the tanks that have been played in today, at least in this tournament. But you could, of course, go into a Garrosh. You could go and play around... I mean, you could literally pick Tyrael Tracer here. So Malfurion, Tracer, Tyrael, literally a comp. If that was a European team, I would say that is a very realistic option. Here, not so much. We're getting Greymane, and we get Garrosh. So the final pick, what's it going to be? For... Ooh, Deathwing again. Yeah, second time today that we're getting Deathwing. Well, Tomb of the Spider Queen. It is the last map, the final chance for the two teams to make it towards the winner bracket final. And I mean, kudos for nothing else to do to actually being here in the first place. But can they go the full distance and make the reverse sweep happen? We're going to find out right now. The final map in the best of 5. It is time to party, baby. We got Dehaka, Deathwing, and a Nubarak for the blue team. We get Stukov together with Sylvanas to round out a draft for those boys. And yep, it should be a fun one. On the right side, we have against them Greymane, Yrel, and Garrosh with Junkrat and Malfurion. Yeah, it's a pretty nice setup for both teams here, given the map. I mean, Tomb of the Spider Queen is very different from what we've seen in the games thus far. Most of them were very heavy, macro-focused, bigger maps usually, where rotations mattered a lot more. But, well, rotations matter, of course, a lot here as well, but with bigger maps you have more opportunities to just out-rotate your opponent, get on the lane, quickly do some damage. That's something that the red team has especially showcased in the first game of the series. But yes, here we are again. So they're starting to make a play for Malfurion, and the old geezer's in real trouble. That's the end of him, gets bitten to death by Deathwing. And, well, the counter kill is happening at least. So it's a trade. 1 kill for a kill. You would think that in game number 5 they would maybe just ease into it a little bit and not be too aggressive from the get-go. But you would be very wrong. So from the start, what they do instead is absolutely crush it, going for aggression and really, really trying to bring the pain here. And so far that has definitely happened. So yeah, nicely done. A lot of damage done here already. They're doing a lot of work in the rotations to try and get a kill, gank up on somebody on the other side, not only focused on getting those gems together. But yeah, I gotta say, for now, I'm pleasantly surprised that they're being this aggressive around it. But I should probably not be that surprised, given that we've had, from start to finish, a lot of aggression throughout this tournament. Just the Eastern teams in general seem to be very heavy team fight focused. Spray game, I'm still giving this an F. I mean, yes, you're dropping a spray, but this is a pleb spray, so at least put out something. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. There's obviously extra points if you do, but going for the pleb spray alone is just not enough. I expect a little bit more on their side. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that we're not going to get a real commitment to this. I guess at the end of the day we gotta take what we get, but I expect a bit more. I think there's still room to improvement for them. Now, we haven't really seen a whole lot of gems turned in. 11 have been delivered so far. There's nothing to write home about, but let's see how diligent the teams are around this. I mean, normally you really want to focus on it as much as you can to make sure that you're not running into too much trouble around deaths, losing gems, and therefore missing out on your ticket into the game. Yeah, they isolate the Haka, at least they're trying to. That's always a bit of a weird one. When you're a solo laner that holds most of your gems is fighting himself on the receiving end of an ass-kicking. But they're able to get him out. Get the burrow charge in there. We also have, or the burrow, we already have also Deathwing. Good skin, by the way. I always have to highlight the Deathwing skins because there's so many shitty ones where he looks like a chicken or a turkey that it is always important that you highlight when a good choice is being made around this. He's a majestic monster. I mean, he's literally death incarnated, so yeah, you gotta give him credit where credit's due when a proper skin is taken. So yeah, big shout out to him here. That's definitely well done. But either way, we have for now a pause here, and it seems like, yeah, Deathwing dropped. Okay, just as I talk about him, just as I talk about our Lord and Savior Deathwing here, he's apparently running into some real trouble and is all of a sudden dropping out of the game. That's definitely not what you want to see here. Maybe it's a little bit too late for our boy too. I mentioned how late it already is in Taiwan. So yeah, no Deathwing at this point, but let's hope that it's just a minor issue and that he's going to be back in a moment. I mean, it is game number 5, so they paused quickly. I don't think that they're going to make a play for him and try and take him down here. We have now down to the bottom of the map still our 1 versus 1. 24 gems turned in for the blue team, 11 for the red team. Not really a big lead or anything else, but yeah, well, here we are, and let's hope that he can reconnect quickly, and then we're going to continue with the 5th and final map in this best of 5. And we're back to business. Everything's fine. They don't go for Deathwing, but they decide that a Nubarak is fair game. And honestly, they're not wrong. He didn't drop, so there was no reason not to attack him. So they just turn it around, and that is the 2nd kill for Team Marcel. Yeah, that was actually well done. So Team Marcel, they get a quick kill here. And that is exactly what they need to do now. Try and take control of the game a little bit earlier and not fall behind. Because if you look at the last few maps that they lost, it was always the early and the mid game where they really struggled. And then in the late game, they were attempting to bring it back and oftentimes had a good showing. But as it stands right now, not again. No, Malfurion! He's not the only one. Garrosh is also in trouble. Yeah, they nearly lose Malfurion here. That was way too close for comfort, but it is a Nubarak that dies. At least this time the blue team gets a counter kill. They're able to drop Junkrat. And I guess they're also going to take down Garrosh. Yeah, well, maybe not. He just walks up to the top. Was securing a couple of gems for them, so they're not losing out on too much here. I like the effort. They are about to lose him again, though. Like, I don't really know what's going on here, but every single time I think he's safe, a second later, he's back in trouble. 3 kills to 3 with the blue team getting another kill. I mean, at this point, it's just them running it down mid, right? They're way too greedy here. At some point, cut your losses, boys, and just fall back a bit. There was no need to lose Malfurion again in this encounter. So Malfurion is down, and the blue web weavers are touching ground first. The first objective taken, and if they get a few more kills, yeah, that would just be such a good deal for them. Can you imagine them taking Urel down? That's 14 gems, and it would be a kill just as the objective is in. But then they're looking at Garrosh, and they're like, you know what's better than taking 14 gems away from them? 23! So they take him down, the gems are lost, they might even get a Greymane kill. He was trying to snowball himself forward to recover the gems, which didn't work out for him. And now there's web weavers on the ground, there's no Garrosh, they got Sylvanas to enhance this push even further. This is getting a little bit bananas. I mean, seriously. They lost the gems, they were trying to recover them, nearly lost another hero. Now they're losing with the first objective, a fort, and also some walls. This is looking much... I mean, it's looking better and better for the blue team by the second. Guys, we might actually have a reverse sweep here. It might actually happen. They are coming in again with... look at this. 32 gems. There's 33 on the other side. And yeah, 28 gems have been delivered. So they still have a turn-in possibly available, but... I don't know, this is getting real difficult, especially since the blue team is also doing a decent job trying to guard the turn-in point. So they're trying to prevent this as best they can. And as long as there's no turn-in happening, I mean, you're not going to get anywhere near the turn-in point with level 10 now also in the hands of nothing else to do. So they take their camp, they got level 10, both teams now thankfully do, so the red team is starting to catch up. But yeah, can they turn in here? Red team, they delivered with Uriel. Just for one moment they were not paying attention, and then Uriel snuck in and took it right away. Alright, so far so good. So they're not out of this yet. They lost the fort. That hurts. Shouldn't have happened, but it is recoverable. You can still bring this back a bit, and they're going to try here. So already Web Weavers coming back down, trying to make a move. Yeah, well, we have Dehaka trying to control Uriel on the side as she's looking to flank. Deathwing talking about flanking. He's coming in. They're driving it past Malfurion, who's already cocooned, trying to take him down, and I don't think he stands a chance there. Or does he? Wow. The stun? And there's the double kill, maybe even. Down goes Nubarak and Malfurion. Kill for a kill. Garrosh made it out of the fight. This could have been way worse for the red team. They at least still have the Web Weavers here, and they are using them to attack the structures even further. Yeah, we'll see if they can make that work now. The first one has already been defeated down at the bottom of the map. At least the wall has been taken down, so that's a big win, especially if they're now able to take the entire fort down too. And honestly, it looks good. Seems like they can return the favor and claim a fort here. That's more than I expected them to be able to do. So with that, we have 6 kills to 4. Very even experience. There's a few gems that were lost earlier by the red team. But besides that, they're kind of right. I mean, it's a 30 gem difference between the two teams, I would say. But it's always a matter of whether or not the blue team can now properly turn in. So far, they haven't secured those gems. They could sneak Deathwing towards the top and do it there. And I think that's the plan. Yeah, especially with them now stopping Garrosh. This is going to be a thing. So the gems are turned in. 30 are delivered. If they can get the rest connected too, then a second Web Weaver wave might be allowing them to drop the fort at the top in the bot lane. 41 secured. They're doing fairly okay on this. The drag not connecting here. That would of course been the dream if Dehaka could have hit that mark. But didn't quite work out. Now, they get the Web Weaver wave, and the problem for the red team is honestly that it's going to happen when level 13 is available to them. So that's going to make this a bit more annoying than it should be. The interesting part though is that by now 2 of the forts have fallen on the blue team side. So while initially they were able to pull ahead, they now lost the fort at the bot lane and at the top lane. So they are behind structurally, which is kind of crazy. I mean, taking a fort down with the first objective, it happens, but it's not something that you should really bank your hopes on. But they were able to pull that off. Now they are the ones that have to try and bring this back, and it's just, yeah, pretty annoying. I love, on the other hand, that it's so close, at least until now, in the final map of such a great best of 5 series. We had so many good games in this tournament. Even when we had the lower level teams play, the games were just super entertaining. But here it's a continuous back and forth, time and time again. Defense at top lane is solid, and they're taking the Web Weaver down. Even with Sylvanas, the push didn't yield too much. But it's Dehaka that is completely alone at the bottom of the map that is really going to change the flow a bit for them. Because this fort is going to have a rough time. Yeah, I don't think they can hold this one. Nah, this is not happening. So Uriel, she's going to attempt it, but it's not going to happen. So each team has now lost 2 forts. So the map is slowly propelled forward. We have 25 gems still available for nothing else to do. And they should definitely turn them in now. Secure them while you can. There's no reason not to. Dehaka disagrees though, gets a few more, and maybe now, yeah, so he goes for the turn-in. Alright, so they got the turn-in on Dehaka. Red team is obviously going to attempt to deliver a bit more. Dehaka able to get out of the way before Garrosh is able to connect and maybe even interrupt him. Damage output so far, we have 21,000 for Deathwing. Top numbers in the game go to Greymane, on the other hand, who has 26,000 damage currently. And, yep. Let's see how they are going to continue this, because we don't have... well, actually that's a kill opportunity. That's a big kill opportunity, and they take it. Dehaka down. Isn't he glad that he turned those gems in? Yeah, that would have been at least 14, 15 gems lost if he died there. Before he turned in. But yeah, he delivered. So now the red team has a turn-in opportunity, and they're trying to use it. And, well, he got rid of them. Deathwing was a bit too late. I think if he just attacked him with an auto attack, he might have been a little bit better. But he delivered all 20, so now they got 34. And they have enough to complete the turn-in. Sylvanas is blowing out the minions at the top lane. They want level 16 and they're gonna get it. It's all about whether or not... Yeah, Urel can deliver though. And the thing is, she can't. This time Deathwing was there in time. It was a close call, but he pulled it off. So here we are. They have level 16 and they made sure that Urel can't get the turn-in. Now obviously there is not a huge gap between the two teams in experience. So they're claiming it. And we have Debilitation, an absolute horse shit talent that I hate with a passion because it is just fucking useless. Now, I talked to Nagrom a little bit at the Heroes International in Miami, and he made one good case for it, and that is against Diablo. So if you want to counteract Diablo a little bit, then it makes possibly sense to go for it. But in any other situation, this is just horse shit. This is trash. This is absolute trash. Compared to the value that you get from Epicenter, this is not something that you want, especially against this team. I mean, what the fuck? So that is not a good move, in my opinion, from the blue team. If they already play in a Nubarak composition and want to go for a dive, then there's definitely better choices, and the better choice is called Epic Enter. It has fucking Epic in the name. It's there for a reason. The hint is in the talent name. Epic Enter. All you gotta do. But yeah, so again, Inubarak can still connect the stun with a deep dive. But let's see what they're getting from this one. So they are pressured back instantly. I mean, the second they took the talent, they started to lose control of the game. Just saying. Coincidence? I don't think so. So mid fort is about to be taken down. That's the final one that they had, and the problem for them is not the only thing that is really suffering. They lost the wall at the top, and at the bottom of the map, the wall is not only gone, but it seems that the keep is also going to take some damage. I don't necessarily believe that they can take the keep down right now, but anything you can soften up is going to become a great target after you win a later team fight. And, hello? Sylvanas? She's still alive, and scratch that. She's dead. Deathwing came in and uses his ult. They might get a kill on Garrosh, but even that is a question mark. And look how quickly Deathwing is now being taken down. Yeah, they want the kill, and Nubarak prevents it from happening by stunning Greymane, but it was still close. So here we are. We have a kill on Sylvanas. It's a 5 versus 4. And of course, now the bigger question is, what are they going to do with that bit of an advantage that they have? Do they just turn in their gems? Do they try and make a play for the boss? That would be a risky call, though, because Sylvanas is back in 14 seconds, but they're actually trying. So they might be going for the boss here. It's a pretty... I mean, again, it's a pretty obvious call. So you're kind of signaling to your opponent what you're going to do. They might try and come in here and prevent this from happening, but they're not really moving there. So it seems that they're just saying, okay, whatever, we're going to defend it. 6 kills to 6, we're fine. But it is going to damage their top keep a little bit. Unlikely that's going to fall, but it's going to damage it. So, boss is marching through the top lane, and they are trying to get the camp down here at the bottom. Again, final map in the series. I have to stress that again. This is the final map. And nobody is dealing with the boss. And I honestly don't like it, because they should already start to poke it down a little bit. We're only 15 minutes in, but 15 minutes is 15 minutes. Might not have scaled heavily into the late game yet, but this boss is still going to do some damage. And they needed to make sure that it does as little damage as possible to the top keep. And at this pace, they're going to lose way too much here. This thing is going to be super low. And in the middle of the map, with all of the defenses that now has to be forced onto the top lane, they can also start to poke this one down a bit. So this is really starting to be problematic. I mean, guys, this is nearly gone. If they get Junkrat into a good position, they can take this one. I don't think that was necessary. They could have tried to soften the boss up a bit earlier already. So it is the red team that is now in a really nice spot here. 6 kills to 6, nearly level 20. Yeah, Catapult goes down, but this one, that's yeah, made out of paper. Held together by spit and chewing gum. Now they allow the turn-in here. They want level 20 first, so apparently they're alright with the turn-in, as long as they get level 20 in the Siege Giants. Which I guess is fair. But, yeah. It's a chance to take the top 4 down, maybe a bit more. But yeah, we'll see how far they can go with this. So level 20 talents are about to be ready. And then we'll see what they can do with them. Yeah, first of all, the Hunter's Blunderbuss, Seraphim is in. Level 20 for the blue team will be ready for any potential fight. So 2 camps though on the map. That's pretty much what they have to defend. They got 2 camps, so that's pretty okay. Helps them to delay those lanes a little bit. Allows them to deal with one of the web weavers at a time. Top side, they're burning this down very, very quickly. The Haka's coming in with a drag, but he misses it, so the Tong doesn't connect with anybody. And now that they took out the web weaver at the top, they can start to focus onto the mid and the bot lane. And especially at the bot lane, the web weavers are going to need a bit more time until they even approach the wall. But this is obvious not over yet. Trader King is in for Nubarak. And yep. Deathwing, bam, chunked down by the bullet. Massively chunked down. And the web weaver's gone. No web weaver anymore in the mid lane. This turn-in hasn't really done a whole lot for them just yet. Maybe they can change that at the bottom of the map with Sylvanas now moving in. And the web weaver, even though it's low, at least getting some damage connected. But this isn't looking too great. And just a bit as a heads up, they need to stop this. Somebody needs to go topside or this catapult is going to take the keep down. 2 shots, 1 shot, and the keep is gone. And the Haka is dealing with it. So the Haka went straight towards the top lane to deal with it. Had to. It was the only play that you can make there. But yep, here we are. Bit of a barbecue play. Try to check if anybody is sitting in that bush. There is a turn-in opportunity, by the way, for the red team. And they got the gems. All they got to do is sneak somebody right here. I mean, it's wide open. I don't even know why they're fighting for this one. Just sneak them top. Yeah, the Haka, he's sitting topside though. But here we are. They're starting to play around the turning point. Trying to guard both of them as best as they can. Play is not over yet, but this is the big threat. That the web weavers are now claimed by Team Marcel, by Don't Ban Malthael. And them coming in and trying to end the game by I mean, death blows to the top keep and the mid keep on the blue team side would very likely end with the game eventually being won by the red team. I mean, that's all your map control lost. The big problem, of course, is that with the top fort also still in play, it would be continuous catapult pressure at the top lane without any counter pressure. If anything, it actually surprises me that nobody has snuck towards the top keep in order to just take it down. Junkrat would just need a grenade or 2 and that would be it. But everybody is moving around here. Cocoon is out. They're trying to engage into the fight. Urel is zoned away a little bit. They're isolating Greymin as best as they can. But he's getting away. 1 stun, 2 stun. Can they keep him alive? Easily. Easily. So the engage did not help them. Not even a little bit. That's a lot of ults that were used here. And now the path to a turn-in is, in my opinion, wide open. Now they can try to pull this one off. Bottom turn-in point is... I mean, again, there's nobody even here. They only guard the top, nothing else. 26 gems, they're trying to turn in, and they have to interrupt. But can they go for the flip? Not yet. There's the barbecue. Urel is in the back line, interrupting Stukov immediately. The fight over here also continuing. They're not quite done with it just yet. But the blue team was really cutting this one close. That turn-in nearly happened. And that could have likely been the end of it. Top keep is taking finally a little bit of damage because they pushed the lane out. But again, the catapults are going to deal with that eventually. Down here, they're poking in Ubarak. Oh, damn son, he's really low. And once again, 6 kills, 6 kills! No, no! She was alive for just a moment. And then the final hit from Greymane allowed them to kill Sylvanas. Now it's a 5 versus 4. They're hoping for more kills. Yeah, the Cocoon on Greymane to try and shut him down, and even the isolation. Massive isolation, by the way, from the Haka. But obviously, it's going to be a completed turn-in now by Team Marcel. Guys, this is the big opportunity for the red team to either win the game or get so far ahead here that there is just no chance anymore for the opponent to come back into it. This is the big opportunity. They take the camp. They could have gone for boss, I suppose, but instead they're making a play for the turn-in now. Already 30 gems about to be delivered by Garrosh. And that's the chance. 2 keeps should fall. I mean, again, this is the minimum. 2 keeps at a minimum should fall here. They're delaying it a little bit further even. They're trying to go for the camp over here. They get the turn in, and wow. If the blue team can save the day, can somehow stall this, that would be great, but it is a big question mark. We have 64,000 damage from Greymane alone, 55,000 from Junkrat. The top damage dealer for the blue team is Deathwing with 42k. Sylvanas is at 38,000, and just look how quickly they're burning these waves down. So yes, this is going to hurt. Both the top and the mid lane are heavily pushed out already. Junkrat is dealing with the bot lane before he joins the fun here in the middle. And this is not easy for nothing else to do. They got a lot to do here, despite the name. They got to deal with all 3 lanes. They got to try and keep those keeps in play. Top side is going to fall 100%. Here in the middle, the shit is about to hit the fan. But they get killed. And Uborak is dead. And Uborak is dead. They get the Web Weaver, but they lose Uborak. So now it's a 5 versus 4 to boot. The core already going to be attacked through the top lane. And this is just a disaster. Bottom of the map also in trouble. Wave, or the wall has been opened up previously, and now it's a keep in the middle that falls. They're trying to defend the top, but all of the lanes are now falling apart here. It seems that after 2 wins in a row, this is the end of the line in the winner bracket for nothing else to do. The blue team pulled off such a fantastic comeback in the series, but this is looking disastrous for them. They're losing ground everywhere. The core is falling quickly, and that's gonna be the end. A quick auto attack is all that's needed. We're gonna see Team Marcel, Team Please Ban Malthael move on to the winner bracket final, move on to the next round, and the blue team drop down into the losers bracket. GG.